We're here. You missed the COVID Ghostbusters reference.
We can still go back to it.
We can go back to it. You gotta watch. I mean, some of us are in high risk situations, and we don't.
You know, I'm gonna make that comment on Friday though.
And we don't want to be. And there's so many options of exposing ourselves, right, Ronnie?
And they don't want us exposing ourselves.
Hey-o! I fixed it. No, I broke it.
Do any more will get cut off.
And well, I got those Ghostbuster figures I found today at Target.
Yay!
Oh, I have a new pop.
What'd you get?
Oh, Mike's getting the pop.
I forgot. I have a new pop.
Oh, I'm gonna open these tomorrow before I go to Black Diamond.
Okay, you're doing a video?
Yeah. Ooh, I want the bathtub.
Look at that.
Where'd you find that at Target?
I bought online actually.
Ooh.
Bought online, and it's actually a very good condition. Very, very
Nice.
good condition.
Yeah, they ship that out pretty nice.
Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike the other. Can I go on a little?
Like 10 minutes ago.
That's all right. No,
Can I go on like a little mini rant, Sorg?
a mini rant for Mike.
Yeah. All right. So 2 pops I got in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
I was very much looking forward to them. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with them yet because I can just take them out of the box, but that's
Let them breathe, baby.
Let him breathe, baby.
Yeah. So this one,
Uh-huh.
the bombastic Bagman.
Uh-huh.
Target, yeah.
it's all ripped to shit up here in the corner.
Oh, fuck it.
It's supposed to be like a Spider-Man pop, but
Yeah.
it's Fantastic
Hey,
Four.
hey. It is Spider-Man when he tried to join the Fantastic Four, and he tried to invade the Baxter building. It burned up his uniform, and then he had to go. So he stole a uniform and put a paper bag over his head and called himself the Bombastic Bagman.
As you do. As you
Really
do.
funny.
Anyway, the other one,
That's canon.
which it's Han Solo and Carbonite. But
How fucked up is the box?
the box is just in shitty condition. Like, it's warped all over the place. It's torn a little bit in the back. And I'm
That's
like,
a nice pop too.
I
Now
know.
these were ones that mailed to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, 'cause I was gonna say, I mean, it's got to be frustrating when it's like, oh, I've like the Carbonite one. I've seen like a few of those at like Target, and of course they're okay. But like when you go and you send for it and they beat the shit out of them for you, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then because that requires me having to, leave the house. And
Nobody
right
wants
now,
to.
it's not the best idea.
Have you heard?
No.
Have you heard? Not a good idea to go outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn that the hard way.
Especially, I have to use these bad boys, so really not great for me to leave the house if I don't have to.
I'm worried about all my asthma friends. I'm worried about all my asthma friends. Yes.
Guys, guess what?
Yes, Ronnie Starks.
I finished my Ghostbusters Kenner collection today.
Okay.
I got the last piece I needed today.
Okay.
I now pretty much have the entire original run.
Oh
boy.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember? I mean, it's probably come up before, but around the time that the real Ghostbusters cartoon started, there was that other Ghostbusters that
with the ape.
It was like a 70s TV show or something that lasted like a handful of episodes, but because of the popularity of the Ghostbusters, they
dragged it out.
Well, actually, that came out first.
Yeah.
And Universal was having a hard time getting the copyrights to the actual Ghostbuster name. If you go back and watch Movies That Made Us, have you watched it? And then they explain that Reichman, his dad, ended up working for the people who own the original Ghostbusters, and they're like, "Fuck it, we own this now. We're gonna take over the Ghostbuster name." So that's how they ended up getting it, because they weren't supposed to be Ghostbusters. I think it was supposed to be Ghost. Oh, I forget what that
Ghost Trappers.
Ghost Trappers, I think it was.
I think it was something like that. Or Ghost Chasers.
Ghost Chasers, was that it? Okay.
I think that's it. Let me just double check.
Yeah, somewhere Peyton Graham's saying, "Ronnie, get the story right. You're supposed to be a Ghostbuster fan."
Somebody invite him in the chat room.
He's shaking his fist.
God damn it! I depend on wrestling podcasts for all my most accurate Ghostbusters news.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I should do a Ghostbusters podcast. I don't know why.
Is that what? Well, you got a gear to ramp up to the new movie again.
I mean, we probably should if you think about it.
Whenever that is.
A year from now, March 2021.
It's just going to be just like if you took a year to ramp up to Phantom Menace, because it's got to be awesome.
God, Phantom Menace wasn't bad.
Oh God, you set yourself up for pain.
You guys ever watch Fanboys? The
I love Fanboys.
Yes,
it's so great. I found out about late. It's fantastic.
It is. That's when the one friend had cancer, right? And then they were trying to get him to see that movie before he died.
Fanboys is so great, especially if you watch A New Hope and then watch Fanboys. Like if you do a double feature of it, oh my god, it's fantastic.
I've been binge watching Clone Wars. I finally got onto it. The fact that Jar Jar Binks is in Clone Wars makes me want to break my computer.
Not often though, and less as you go, right?
Yeah,
from what I've seen.
But I'm like, oh, this is really good, and I'm like, oh, Misa helping. I'm like, God damn it, Jar Jar.
Then you throw your Netflix device through the wall.
I'm like, what?
Did you see the?
Oh no!
Sorry.
Go ahead, Rob.
I was gonna say, I mean, I'm sure you've seen the Clone Wars movie, right? The one that came out, that's basically the pilot.
Oh, I have to watch that movie before I watch the series.
I don't think
not really. Really, nothing happened.
Like, it is a complete piece of shit.
Yeah,
too. It is like.
Oh, then I won't watch it. Then.
Yeah, I went to the theater for that and just like, wait, did I just watch a pilot? Fuck.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So,
like,
I mean,
no, I heard so many people talk about, oh my god, Clone Wars is so good. Clone Wars is so good. I did not realize that there was a series and a movie, and I thought everyone was talking about the movie.
There are
so
two
when I saw the
series.
movie, I'm like, this is awful. Like everyone's really
but
like, the animation's good, but this is awful.
But you got to roll it back because there's also the Samurai Jack guy did the first Clone Wars cartoon.
And they were all like 3-minute episodes.
So those are very, very good. Introduced General Grievous to us. Very good.
I'm a big General Grievous fan. Darth Maul is my favorite. If anybody happens to find a decent-looking Darth Maul action figure, for the love of God, somebody help me out, please.
Oh, do you want him with or without robot legs?
Oh, wait, does that exist?
Really?
With the robot legs?
Yeah, I'm sure it does somewhere.
Is that the three and a half quarter figure? Do you think, or
I
whatever?
guarantee it exists somewhere.
Yeah,
I need a Darth Maul action figure, and I can't find one that I actually like, and it makes me sad.
I think I might just have like the original one, like first wave somewhere, because I remember my sister worked at Toys R Us at the time that Phantom Menace came out, and I was overseas. And so she grabbed me all like the first wave of figures, and then by the time I got home and I saw the movie, I'm like, I don't even really want them anymore. You know, it's like I'll take because they jumped the gun and tried to make everybody into an action figure, whereas like in the original movies it was the other way around, where it was like, shit, we've already made figures of everybody that matters. You know, now we're gonna make figures of everybody else. You know. So you saw these characters that had action figures and names, but then you watch the movie and they're like, wait, I don't even know who that was.
It's like some of those figures aren't even in the movie. You're like, who the hell is this?
It's like, what the hell did we do?
Because they were so far ahead of the game when it came to marketing the prequels, because they learned the mistake from, you know, the previous movie. I mean, not a mistake, because they were kind of revolutionary in terms of merchandising the movie. Yeah. But they made sure they had all their bases covered and then some. You know, when the prequels came out.
I mean, they were so ahead of the time then, but it took us like a year to get Baby Yoda merch.
Yeah.
Like,
well, but they didn't want to spoil Baby Yoda.
Yeah, that was my design.
I don't blame them for that. I actually
Nope.
I mean, now I have two Baby Yoda things. I got a Baby Yoda plush, and I got that that Black Series, that tiny little guy.
Ronnie.
Yeah.
I'm about to put a link in this chat room.
Oh crap! I'm gonna buy something right now.
It's very cheap. It's very cheap.
Also, by not jumping the gun on Baby Yoda, they spared themselves. Like, what if that was something that what if that was the next Jar Jar that everybody just rejected?
Exactly.
You know? And then they wouldn't have a warehouse full of like Baby Yoda merch that nobody wanted. You know, that would be like if Mac and Me based on E.T. You know?
Although,
like
if the next Ant-Man figure comes with a Mac and Me little toy, I'd be okay with that.
In the words of the great late Mark Webb, this is going straight in my basket.
You're welcome, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Sorg, it has the robot legs and the spider legs.
I like that. I like that this has turned into a toy podcast somehow.
We should probably talk about wrestling, I guess.
Oh,
well, we haven't
started the show.
Even started a show yet. So
Ronnie, you haven't been here for a while. You forgot.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, Sorg and I haven't had our 45-minute.
Oh, speaking of which,
we just talk about what the fuck we did this week.
So I'm caught up.
Can we just point out how nice of a good-looking pussy that is right there?
Hey,
look at that cat. Look at that cat.
Wow.
Hi, kitty.
That pussy needs to be groomed a little bit, though.
Yeah, he's looking a little fluffy. He's looking like he's visited the 80s, man.
He'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god, dude, that's crazy.
Fairly legal pussy.
Yeah.
No.
But I'm bummed.
Oh, and I thought I was hitting the surface, and you're just like, hold my beer, Ronnie. I got this.
Well, Mike, to update you real quick, I am up to date pre-Crisis because I'm watching up to Crisis, so I'm waiting for everything to come out so I can just watch Crisis. I'm caught up on Arrow, Flash, and I jumped back into Gotham while I was waiting for Supergirl to release yesterday.
Whoa, whoa.
Well, okay.
You may have just turned this into a Gotham podcast.
Okay, I have three episodes left.
I haven't watched Gotham.
2 or 3 episodes left in the next to last season. I just know the next episode's name is One Bad Day.
Have you watched the animated Harley Quinn series?
It's
No.
so good.
I'm hoping.
awesome.
So HBO
Oh,
Max
man.
launches tomorrow. I'm hoping it's included, and
Yeah.
nobody's told us yet. So I also
'Cause
waiting for that so I can watch Batwoman without commercials. And-
Well,
I don't-
enjoy
I don't even
Batwoman
know
while
if
it
I wanna-
lasts.
I don't even know if I want to watch Batwoman now. I need
It's
to
hot
catch up on
garbage.
it.
No, it's
No,
bad.
I started watching it. I
It's not
didn't
bad.
mind it, but now I'm like, they're just gonna end up rebooting the whole thing. I think.
yeah, probably.
Because that girl did not want to be on the show.
No.
She had zero interest in being there.
It's like, hey, maybe you shouldn't try to be the lead of a television series.
I
I don't think you know what goes into being the lead of a television series until you're the lead of a television series.
yeah.
But it's not like it was an experiment. Like it's not like, oh, you're Stephen Amell in Arrow, when
Yeah,
it was the
yeah.
first show of
Well,
like a
then
half
again,
dozen.
Roll back for a second. If anybody has the closest of experience in this, it's Rob because he is featured on several television programs
Oh yeah,
and
featured.
movies. Featured.
Weren't you
Yes.
didn't you die on NCIS or something like that?
No, but I got asked if I wanted to be a corpse on some show, but I was
I knew it was something
busy
like
and
that.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
You could have been a dead guy, bro. Like
Yeah,
That'd been
you
great.
had one shot. Do
Instead,
not
I've
miss
been
your
about
chance to
12
blow.
times.
Opportunity only comes once in a lifetime.
I only know personally one person who's been a corpse on Law and Order.
Yeah.
Who?
I Justine.
I love Law and Order
Oh,
SCU. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think it was just straight up Law and Order. Yeah, she was the you're gonna see her alive for 2 minutes and then dead, corpse, full on.
Hey guys, I'm here. Bleh.
That's YouTube. That's what YouTube fame gets you. That's great. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Check.
Sorry, I thought I was getting some echo action from you, Rob.
Check one. Check one. Check 1 2. Check.
I'm just rewatching our homework match in the background.
Oh, good.
Oh, brother!
I did
Oh,
extra
guys-
credit. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. We should
Which
probably.
I have some kind of out of the box questions when it comes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you
We'll get
guys
to it.
really made me watch that, huh?
No, Jacob Edwin,
Oh,
and we do have a new
He and I
video
have-
for tonight.
He and I have heat now. I hope he knows.
We have heat now.
Ronnie, you're the only one I think who can legally hit him with a chair. So please,
Yeah, we got serious
Next-
heat now.
next time you see him, just say, "This is for Great American Bash."
This is for making me waste 15 minutes of my fucking life.
Oh, jeez. Come on, guys. It wasn't that bad.
Oh no, it was
Whoa.
bad. Jim
Come on.
Cornette was the only good part
Whoa.
about that.
Yes.
Oh no! All right,
Wait,
now let's.
Well, wait,
no.
we're gonna have rules when we talk about this. By the
No,
way.
I think that cage match that followed it was kind of a waste of time.
Oh, yeah, that's the extra credit. That's the
I
extra
don't
credit.
I
kind
had
of
to
don't
watch
We'll get to it.
understand.
All right,
What?
all right.
I think I'm gonna watch the whole pay-per-view.
We need to roll with this before
It's a
we.
good show. I mean, it's a decent show. Looking at, I kind of just skimmed it. Plus, I think I've seen it before.
All right, here we go, guys. I need a doc first. Chat room. Where did the chat room go? I don't even have. I'm sure there's been things asking about Rebels, Darth Maul and Rebels. I'm not that far yet.
Oh,
I heard Rebels is good though.
Yeah, I heard Rebels is good. That's
Yeah. Well, it's good. I'm about season and a
I
half
have
in.
a problem because I started watching Clone Wars. I got up to about season 4 or 5, and then Avatar dropped on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Are we talking about Airbender or are we talking about
Airbender.
I thought you were talking
like-
about the shitty blue movie.
No, that's on Disney.
No.
Yeah,
No.
it sure is, but
No,
I'm gonna
but-
skip that.
But I'm like,
This is weird because they don't have a lot of Fox movies on there.
not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
It's all the Fox movies had deals with a bunch of places, so
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
they're starting to.
Yeah.
And I think they're only going to allow the ones that are up to PG-13.
yeah,
But
the rest
still,
will go to Hulu.
All the other
But
ones
still,
are going
that's
to Hulu.
so many.
Yeah. That Tower of Doom. Apparently,
I
a lot
watched
of.
a good movie on Hulu the other day. I gotta tell you guys about it after we're done.
What you watch on Hulu?
It was called The Mandela Effect.
I'll check that later.
Very good.
We're
Okay.
recording. Here we go.
What?
It is loud back there. All right, we'll just do that. It is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, episode 716. Tuesdays, we've been talking about professionalized wrestling. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, PA. And we are back with you again, talking wrestling or whatever form that may be, pre-taped in stadium with fans, with fake fans, behind plexiglass, whatever that is. We're probably going to talk about all those things throughout the evening. Well, with me too, because I can't talk about it myself. It's like drinking by yourself. It's sad, and maybe you need to seek help. So I got my buddies right here on the Mayhem Show. First of all, from Beacon, New York, from deep in the Mad Mike bunker, it is Mad Mike.
Sorg, I'm at a crossroads.
You're Cody Rhodes?
No.
You've
no,
lost your you've lost your last name?
Then I'd be giving myself the Intercontinental title.
Oh.
No, I'm at a crossroads because I don't know whether to finish Clone Wars or to finish Avatar first.
Chat room, let us know.
Yes, please advise me.
There you go.
Because I'm enjoying both, but I need a direction.
Also back with us, and you may have seen him on several programs and movies, but not as a corpse. We found out pre-show. Cameraman Rob is back with us from Evan City.
Hey, how's it going? I watched wrestling this week.
Yeah, fantastic! I watched wrestling with you this week.
Yeah, so it's a lot more enjoyable when it's not just sitting in my apartment watching a show with no crowd. But even that was taken care of with other shows this week.
The show with no crowd.
Also with us, straight out of Starksville. I don't know where do I bill you from?
Straight out of Compton.
Straight out of Compton. Ronnie Starks is back with us.
Guess who's back? Back again. Ronnie's back. Tell a friend.
I'm like Ronnie coming back on. He's like, yes. I'm like, good. You have homework to watch. I was like, what?
And I was like, homework? And you're like, yeah. And I watched it. I'm like, fuck you, Sorg.
Well, we'll be talking about that homework assignment from Professor Jacob Evan, and we got a brand new homework assignment for you guys as well. But we'll get into all of that. Everybody's moaning. It's okay. I think he has some words for you guys too in the next video. But anyways, this is the Wrestling Mayhem Show. Please go check out everything at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. You can find this and past podcasts and all kinds of things going on. Please subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast provider. Please drop us an email at Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com, 412-206-WMS0. We had a problem with the email address again, apparently. I got it. It works again. I tested it today. So please email it. Email us your favorite wrestling meme at Good Times. I was waiting for it again. Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com.
Good times.
There you go. So we can verify that it works consistently. You are helping us with our test audience. So there you go. Please do that.
Blame Google.
What's that?
Google.
Actually, it wasn't Google's fault. It wasn't. I don't know if it was Hover's fault or Cloudflare's or Surpass. It runs through so many services, and it's actually the one that doesn't run through Google. That's probably why it didn't work. But anyways, not a commercial or lack thereof for any of those. Trampoline and pool. What? Oh, this is a different question. Sorry. At Mayhem Show, that was the party on Saturday night. At Mayhem Show on the Twitter, Wrestling Mayhem Show Facebook page, group, and of course, if you follow Sorgatron Media or Wrestling Mayhem Show YouTube, Sorgatron Media Twitch, we are live right now on all of those. You can join us at 9 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday, live across those platforms. Most people over on the Facebook page watching us right now or in the group. But you guys can, whatever works for you, whatever's easier for you, throw on your Chromecast or Roku or Apple TV. Those are all available for you now and after the fact. If you are watching us live, especially right now or in a podcast, please give us do us a little favor. Hit the heart button, hit the like button, hit the share button, so you can help expand the Mayhem universe. If you're live with us right now on Facebook, you can hit a watch party. It's all going to be very, very helpful in getting us going. Also, please do all that stuff. Subscribe to us, rate us, and of course, thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. Our friends following us at the fan of the show level. Bo Diggity. Woo! And Ed Burke, Bobby F. J-Town, and Team Hammerfist. And at the Poppy Club level, Bradley, Dave Podner, Daniel Towery and Tina Keys. At the Pizza Club level, our friends Doc Remedy and Cal Turner. Occupy Pro Wrestling at the manager level, and Farnsworth Investments. And of course, you guys, please, thank you so much for supporting us, especially through these weird times right now. Our crowd still shows up every week. So thank you for
was
that.
Was that a Futurama reference you just made? Farnsworth Investments?
That is one of our providers, Farnsworth Investments. Farnsworth. You know Farnsworth.
I
Ronnie.
know, but I immediately thought Futurama. Sorry, man.
No, his name is
news,
Farnsworth.
everyone.
It's Farnsworth. It's Farnsworth.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Carry on.
It's okay. It's okay. But anyways, as I'm dealing with some tech issues right now, but one of you is getting a message in a second as soon as I can divert. Anyways, speaking of crowds, I think has been a big topic this week as they return to WWE programming. And it looks like when I try to get my MTO at Sheets, in the WWE's version of it. So, and this is a good conversation. And, after last week, I took, I believe it was Tina's advice, and actually listened to the podcast where Tony Khan was talking about their procedures, about them doing these live shows and the live crowd, how he got the idea for the live crowd because he watched Fallon when he had the writers come in and do it. And of course, we had, at the time, Colbert did one without crowd. No, well, he had a crowd. Somebody did one without crowd and everything. And that's why he was pretty big first off with those filmings, to have that crowd, which really, really kind of stuck out to me as far as enjoyability factor for me for what we've seen over the last 2 months in professional wrestling. WWE apparently finally got the message. They shipped in, they tested, shipped in. Literally, I think they got everybody on a bus or something from what I was reading, that they shuttled everybody together, which makes sense to quarantine and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So I guess I did not watch Monday Night Raw because I decided to take a holiday from everything and hang out with some family and watch Gotham instead. Mike's happy about that decision. I'm sure he's nodding his head emphatically over on the screen. I only saw clips, so I can't really say the full feel of the show versus what I've seen. Plus, it's on Memorial Day, so that's always kind of weird. Did you guys watch more of Raw? Did you guys get a better vibe from it? I asked today, and most of you were just like, yes, it's better because it's anything better than what they've been doing.
Yeah, basically. Raw, it was nice to see. It was nice to hear, especially. It was basically ambient noise. It wasn't anything over the top like AEW is doing, where you have people like MJF and Sean Spears having bets and all stuff like that and gambling, or people actually interfering in the matches or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as far as that, because honestly, when I watch AEW, stuff like that kind of upsets me a little bit, because everyone in the crowd on AEW is so close.
Yeah.
They're very everyone was very socially distant.
Mm-hmm.
They all had their own little bubbles to be in until the end, where there was a pull apart brawl and people ran in from the stands to.
This is a question. And this is kind of a broader question probably than sorry, Rob's hooking up something, so if you guys hear a little bit of bumping in the background. So if everybody's being tested appropriately, we're already doing that so they can interact on the wrestling side. Are we bothered by them interacting as a crowd as well? I feel like that kind of covers all the cases, right?
But I feel like it's an optics thing,
because we can't be around people. We're seeing it on television, right? Rob, you got something?
Also, yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna kind of liken it to a laugh track, almost. As far as the reaction, it's it's a total rent-a-crowd, but they're reacting how they want them to react, which is almost kind of better. Well, it's better than no reaction, but it's also better than when you've got somebody out there that's trying to play to a crowd and a crowd doesn't react, or somebody who's getting when they send Roman out there to do a big face speech and they're booing him, it's it's kind of nice to have people go out there and do what they're doing and have the desired reactions, I guess. You know, it kind of makes that less awkward too in a different sense. like even when things are good, you know, it's almost like they wish they'd have a crowd that you know, that did what they wanted them to do.
Yeah, I agree, Mike. I agree with your discomfort on the optics too. But yeah, and I'm with you too, Rob, because it did feel like it wasn't this the culmination of when we had the discussions when the fans were offended at Impact Wrestling at Orlando, because they were told they were basically extras in a show and shouldn't be quote off script on some of their reactions and behaviors, right? But
the vast difference in that is that the people who were in the crowd on Raw, I'm presuming, are getting paid.
Yeah, they like at least
the people who went to Impact were not being paid, so they can react over the fact.
But they also probably weren't paying to get in either.
Yeah,
you know, so it's
you still have to pay park admission.
Yeah,
you have to pay park admission to get in.
Yeah, but there's kind of like no, like you said, there's no element of control. You know,
but they're also there. Like they're also there, and they're buying merch, and they're buying concessions.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, they're choosing to be there. They're not being forced to be there. So
that's that one time my uncle and I went to Universal Studios for Impact. Yeah, it was free. They're like, they line you up outside, they count how many heads there are, and they foul you in.
Yep.
And they put us right behind the announcers. So I was on TV like 95% of the time.
Nice.
Yeah, I went there for a pay-per-view for Victory Road.
Oh, nice.
And like we were literally, because my dad didn't want to stand the whole time, so we got the first row in the bleachers. Nice. Because I'm not sure if people remember this, back in the days of the Impact Zone, all that hard camera side, there were no seats. There was only standing room. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was better than what they've been doing. It made me feel less like a psychopath for watching it. Can it be improved on? Yeah.
And it's
I would personally like it if they didn't have people out there I recognized, i.e. people that have lost to Charlotte.
Plus, I saw like Shotzi out there. You can't miss Shotzi.
Like if you're gonna put Shotzi out there, you don't put her front and center by the ramp, because then you're like
put her in the back. Yeah.
Or at least if she's gonna be out there, have her sit in her tank.
Yes. Yes.
Have her be in gimmick. Have her sit in her tank watching the show. That would actually be amazing. Shotzi sitting in her tank, like throwing popcorn in the air and catching her or something. Like that.
Like a drive-in kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
It's like Malcolm Bivens could have been there scouting talent. Nothing would come of it, but he could be there scouting talent. Grant, they can also say this on NXT too, and it will alleviate a lot of this.
Yeah,
stuff. But
well, then what's going to be the crowd for NXT is a question too. If they continue this trend,
probably more developmental people that we don't even know.
Yeah. So I think so you don't like that there's people you recognize on there, right, Mike? Did I get that right?
I don't because they're acting out of their character.
Oh, as they're cheering or whatever, along the script.
To AEW's credit, I may not like all the stuff that they do with their crowds, but everyone in their crowds is acting gimmick.
I'm with you.
If you're a heel, you're rooting the heels. Or if you're a fake.
Well, things like the betting and things that like Sean Spears did, like that was fun. So the big thing, like how I kind of illustrated this on the post earlier today on the Facebook group, when you watch with a live crowd, there's a little sense of finding stuff, right? Whether it be signs or somebody's dressed funny in the front row, and you're just like, look at that guy over there. That's part of that experience. I feel like AEW gets that a little bit, like Big Swole, and there was an article that had the comment after I was saying it all Saturday night on the pay-per-view about I just want Big Swole in every audience. They're like Big Swole, which article was basically like Big Swole needs to be in every wrestling audience.
I mean, I'd rather have Big Swole in the ring, but that's
I want Big Swole doing anything. I'm just happy with her doing it. I would love for her to be more in the ring, but I'm just happy she's doing anything. But because she makes all of it gold, to be quite honest. I thought she was going to start a fight during one of those matches, and when they got out of the crowd. But anyways, the point is, I feel like, and again, I didn't watch all of Raw. I watched the YouTube clips to get a sense of what happened and how things were feeling. Like, it was, other than Shotzi, you can't miss her. Like, maybe it was a separation because of the plastic or something, but you really didn't. They were there in the background, but there wasn't that sense. Versus, you get your Pineapple Pete situations, Big Swole, Sean Spears, when you're talking AEW, and we're talking about different kinds of lower tier audience.
You also have AEW. The difference is, the announcers will point out exactly who is in the audience and how they're interacting with the people that they're feuding with.
But that's a philosophy, isn't it? Because WWE would almost never recognize somebody in the audience that wasn't part of a story.
Unless, because it's like they're the ones that magically appear in the front row, and it's like, I wonder if he's going to have something to do with this,
until Cesaro runs out in the crowd to kill your beach ball the night after WrestleMania, they're not going to acknowledge it, okay?
I kind of think it would be interesting if you had the Raw people watch SmackDown and the SmackDown people watch Raw.
Yeah.
And kept NXT, kept all the NXT and developmental to NXT and developmental. But have Raw watch SmackDown and SmackDown watch Raw. But that's also asking a lot of the talent.
I like that. So we gotta break in here. We gotta break in. Not a break in. We gotta run in. We gotta run in. Oh wait, did you grow a goatee since I saw you Saturday?
Who?
No. I did not grow a goatee, Sorgi. I lost the rest of my beard. That's what happened. So the beard was always there.
You should have kept the beard, pal.
Wait, Mirror Universe Matt has now entered the fray.
That's right. Mirror Universe Matt is here. I have beamed in from the Mirror Universe, and I'm here to tell you they also have no fans at their shows, so you don't have it that bad.
But that's not due to a pandemic. Just no one's interested.
Wrestling not as over there in Earth 2. Yes. The Earth 2 mainstream Matt. He's here because of the crisis. This is the real crisis.
Don't get me started in alternate universes, man. Don't do that to me.
Am I too soon? I'm too soon.
Oh God, I watching the Mandela Effect crap, and now you're giving me multiverses and shit. Don't do this to me today. That stuff messed with my brain, man.
Wait, was that a documentary?
No, it was an actual movie.
It was a movie. Okay, it's not like the time.
Yeah. Podner says, just remember, goatee is evil, Matt.
Oh yeah. Evil Mirror Matt.
I could just see you. Did you watch the that Muppets movie where Evil Kermit, where he has a hood up and he's just like
Muppets Most Wanted. Yes.
Yeah, that's you, Matt. You're just like you're like, yes. I love it.
Matt's here to claim alternate.
I always wanted to turn heel. I'm tired of being the hot baby face on this show. The fiery young baby face.
Down everybody's throat.
Yeah, getting shoved down everybody's throat. They are sick of me. I can already feel that the merch sales are slipping. It is time to turn heel.
Matt, can you make your background black and white to be in the NWO?
Black and white to either join the NWO or get into a Kevin Smith movie, whichever one works with the goatee.
Oh my God, yeah.
You
look a little like you're not supposed to be here today.
Yeah. You need way more dick jokes for that.
Oh, Dante Hicks over there.
So we got Dante Hicks rolling in on the podcast.
Okay, enough about Matt's facial hair, because that's a different show.
There's never enough. It's never enough.
Matt, did you watch
Thursday night? We will spend an entire hour talking about my facial hair.
Oh, good. Hey. Oh, good. Listen to your parents. Tune in. Subscribe. SoccerTimeMedia.com.
Listen to your barbers.
Matt, did you watch the fan edition of Raw comparatively to what you've been seeing on AEW lately?
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it. Very nice to see. Some fans better than nothing at all, but and I think I was mentioning to maybe to you and Rob at some point, and it's happening to AEW and to WWE now that they have their own kind of like pseudo fans in there. It's not like a real crowd. It's like their ideal, what their ideal version of their fan base would be if they could just like train them to do exactly what they wanted them to do. You kind of like get that too. Like they're very cooperative. and they will go along with whatever, and they will do what they're told to do. And that's good if you're, making the show, but if it also, part of the fun of the wrestling crowd is that they don't always play along, and sometimes break the rules.
But sometimes, like that can, like I said, that can make it like a real crowd can make things more awkward sometimes too, like that, So it's like I said, I kind of compared it to like a laugh track almost. They're putting this where they want the reactions to be. It's like I get what you're doing, and it might make me play along a little more, but yeah.
I did want.
Yes, I don't know. There's definitely something there's something definitely off about it, and I'm talking about with both companies. But I will take it over an empty arena. So
yeah,
that's good.
I did want someone to just randomly start a CM Punk chant.
Okay, you know what? I'm starting a CM Punk chant tomorrow at Black Diamond.
Yeah.
Doing that, I'm like CM Punk.
So Ronnie, speaking of empty arenas, you will be returning to Black Diamond, who's been doing their shows over Zoom call.
Zoom,
which has been interesting. You were at the first one, so you're the only one here who has been in an empty arena show, technically. At least one that was
intentionally.
I say you're the only one that's been the one intentionally versus general. I mean, I'm sure you've done practically empty arenas before.
My whole career's been a giant empty arena.
So I mean, you so you know the vibe.
Oh no, I know the vibe. It was nothing different to me. I'm like, hey, there's like 5 people here. Cool, man. But
let's triple the house.
There's somebody who's not somebody's girlfriend, or who's not a parent.
Whose girlfriend is this?
Yeah.
Whose girlfriend
there's always girlfriends and Beastman watching off of the side, so you're just like, oh yeah, this is just how it usually is.
I'm also doing another empty arena on Friday for Real Shoot Wrestling in Morgantown, West Virginia. I'm doing a bunch of empty arena stuff, guys. I'm actually really excited about Friday. That's gonna be a good time.
That's Real Shoot Wrestling, and I know they share there's some stuff in our Wrestling Mayhem show group. So and I think they're doing a Facebook Live last I knew. So
yeah, I'll share the link on my Facebook.
So give a shout out to Tim on that. So yep. So it of course it's West Virginia, where it is an outlaw state.
Yeah.
So
Ronnie, do you have any prop bets with anyone who will be breaking out a pandemic-related gimmick or move?
You act like I'm not going to.
Okay, then all right. Okay, then you don't have to spoil anything. But
I'm not going to. I actually have more class than that. I don't know. I hope no one does. I hope no one calls it like the Corona Clutch or anything like that.
I'm waiting for the COVID-19 driver.
Or like,
to say it.
Like Fever 333 or something. Yeah.
What's that, Rob?
Like,
I was gonna say the Corona Clutch. That sounded like Crush's finisher back in like 1993.
Okay, so I was when this first started, I had this like horrible thought in my head that somebody's gonna do like Corona on a pole match or something, and then at the last RWA in March before the shutdown, Ryan Edmonds was coming out against the Rev, and actually had Lysol. Because that's when we were just at the wash your damn hands phase of all this. So he was just Lysoling the fans as much as possible.
That was funny.
Yeah, it was good. So like that's okay. It's like, but yeah, I'm just somebody is gonna cross that line, at some point with it. But
I hope they don't, because I would think that we're all more professional than that. But some people think heel heat is good heel heat. I gotta tell you, man, when you're making fun of something that's killed quite a few thousand people, that's not good heel heat, man. That's just classless.
Yeah, you don't do it. You don't do a 9/11 promo,
Yeah, it's just
Rick and Morty. Oh God, I'm sorry. I just had that moment. I watched an episode of Rick and Morty.
You can do a Pearl Harbor job though. That's within board.
9/11's too soon, man. He's like, "Oh, I'm really proud of us, Morty." I know, Rick. Like, jeez.
Wow, Ronnie Starks, the master impressionist, ladies and gentlemen.
I know that was terrible.
Master. Oh, jeez, Ronnie. I don't know if we can do that, Ronnie.
Oh, let me tell you, Morty. We're gonna be okay, Morty. Don't be a little cocksucker, Morty. It's gonna be fine.
We have a fellow Dark Sage over in the Twitch chat room. What's up, our Twitchers? We're a lot of different places here tonight as we're live. Since we're talking about COVID effects, kind of the wondering about will WrestleMania come back to Tampa? I honestly, I think there's a question whether WrestleMania will happen as WrestleMania even next year at this point, because that's a correct. That's a feasible possibility at this point. Things. What is happening? What are you pointing at over there?
The wife was behind Matt. That's why I was doing the turn around and look, and he finally got the hint, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, Jen was dancing behind Matt.
I was just seeing a big you pointing at the giant screen by yourself over here. So I didn't know what's happening. Oh, there she is.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Jen.
there she is.
You can't hear it.
Okay, run in.
I was just telling him the slightest glimpse of you, and everyone goes, "Oh my God, it's Jen! It's Jen! It's Jen!"
Get rid of me. We want Jen.
Everybody, put your pants on. It's Jen.
Jen, wait, Jen, where's your evil goatee?
I don't have. I just shaved.
Okay.
Speaking of,
you didn't take the hair from the rest of Matt's beard and fashion it into a goatee.
Could have. You could have paid a small country.
Oh, just like Rusev. All right. Kid wrangling is happening right now. In the meantime, want to give a shout out. We talked about some of our friends that are doing some wrestling things. We are working on things, I can say, over at IndieWrestling.us, IndieWrestling.network. A lot of great stuff, a lot of great time to catch up on things. Giving a shout out if you haven't already. If you have a Roku device, hop over there and download the Grind City TV app. Our friends are actually carrying in the Indie Wrestling feature show every week. New episode drops Wednesdays at 11 p.m. And I understand the repeats of that episode are being carried throughout the week as well. So please go check that out. Support us, friends, and support the wrestling. Again, if you have the opportunity, if you have the funds, a lot of these guys and girls are not, of course, able to wrestle, even though there are these empty arena shows. There's no fans to buy T-shirts, so that becomes an issue as well. In the meantime, help them in this time. Over there, we have our COVID-19 support page with Pro Wrestling Tees. I hope you guys got another sale. Our friend Tatiana Rose has a new T-shirt over there. Our friend Chess Flexor, I think is a brand new shirt page over there at Pro Wrestling Tees, but he has his first ever T-shirt actually up over there. That's on the wish list for me. And of course, please support everything going on. Indie Wrestling Network, $5.99 a month. That back catalog for Rise Wrestling. Every produced wrestling show from Rise Wrestling is on there. As well as last couple of years of Renegade Wrestling Alliance, Black Diamond Wrestling for the last 2 years since we got on board with them, not including these these Zoom call shows. You're going to have to get in Zoom to check those out. We're not a part of that.
There's no association with that.
No association with that. No. We're still locked down in PA. We can't do that just yet. But I got some gadgets. I got some Lysol and I got some temperature things. We don't have any tests yet, but hey, who does? We don't have the AEW budget, but you got yours right there. Yeah. I got one of those in the mail today. Yeah. That's how you got to do it. We got to check it. We're going to be checking it when people come in the studio. Eventually, we're not having them. Of course, still encouraging social distance in
what kind of person just shows up randomly at the studio one night?
I know. It just comes by and says, "Hey, you want a taco?" and talks to me for like 3 hours. And my wife is wondering, "What are you doing there?" And he's like, "I have visitors. You're not supposed to." Oh,
that was a good taco though.
That was a good taco. So, anyways, you too can save money so you can have a taco by supporting at IndieWrestling.us. Does that work? Does that math track?
Yeah, that math.
No, does that track? Okay.
Do I get to make the segue to something else?
You can. It's probably better than my segue.
You know what I'm hungry for?
What?
Slice on Broadway.
No, that's later. We just did an ad.
Ronnie, we just did.
You don't
an
do
ad.
back-to-back ads.
Yeah.
Let me know when we make that segue so I can make that joke.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Right,
so
okay.
I mean, there is a question just to kind of clarify a little bit because Alex is saying how California is reopening. We are looking at green stratus, but that does not mean crowds. That does not mean arena gymnasium size crowds. I want to make that
NHL.
Yeah, go ahead.
The NHL announced today that if the season does reopen, they're going to do a playoff format in a few different hub cities to have like the playoffs, but those are all going to be fanless. Like,
Yes.
no fans.
Yes.
Like we are a long ways away from having any kind of big arena show. I personally think that that what happened on Raw is a test.
And that
it's just a test to see like if they can let like 25 fans in, give everyone like their own little bubble to sit, like give everyone a chair, or if you're like a husband and wife or whatever, a set of 2 chairs, and you have a larger radius to sit in the bubble, and where you can actually have real reactions from fans. I think that was a demo.
Well,
to see what it would look like.
I've always seen. I'll get to you in a sec, Rob. I've always kind of imagined, and I was surprised this happened this week, because I kind of had this thought last week of I can see them just having. Oh, didn't we say this on the show? Them just having performance center crowd shows for the interim for a while before they start touring again, as things get to different whatever stages of what this is going to be. Sorry, Rob, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say the thing with we were talking about, it's like, oh my God, what's WrestleMania ever going to look like again? Or, and they had but seeing that hockey glass last night reminded me, if you've ever been to, or if you've ever seen or been to any of the like Winter Classic or outside NHL games, where it's hilarious because it's like, yeah, you're in a giant football stadium, but it's literally just like the ice rink out in the middle of the field, and then nobody else for like 100 feet.
Yeah.
To where it's like, can we do a wrestling ring at the 50-yard line, and just nobody on the field?
Well, funny you should say that.
Yeah,
funny. That's what AEW did.
No, that's a good segue.
Yeah,
what AEW did.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic match, by the way.
But and we were even saying on Saturday, it's kind of cool that like you can do something. Like they did a show in the football stadium, but it wasn't like when you watch the old World Class shows where it's like. Set up at the 50-yard line, where it's like, yeah, you got 30,000 people in there, but it can fit 100,000, so it still doesn't look great,
Yeah.
To where it's like, yeah, if you block it off right, it's like, oh yeah, it looks kind of cool, but and once you have people or more people, you can expand as need be, but yeah, I just was thinking of just what a bizarre visual that would be. there were a lot of bizarre visuals on Saturday night. So Matt, we talked about the kind of the precursor. Before we get into the show, let's talk about, you had your social distancing pay-per-view party. I'll see if I can pull up some pictures as you talk here. Can you first talk to me, and maybe this is a plan for you, if you have a wonderful open garage and backyard kind of setup and a television on Wi-Fi that you can connect, if all these things tick a box for you, you can maybe think about that too. Matt, you and Jen were fantastic guests to make sure everybody felt spaced out and safe, and had arrows and knew where the bathroom was, and had something to sing in the bathroom while you wash your hands. It was Judas, by the way. And by the way, I hum it to myself now every time I go to wash my hands, ever since this past Saturday. Thank you for that. So, Matt, how do you feel Saturday went from the logistic point of view?
Yeah, I think it went really well. We kind of we spaced out all our boxes. Fortunately, we didn't have a lot of people respond, so we didn't get very close to our 25-person limit. But everyone who came kind of kept to themselves. No food or drink was served by us. Nothing. We provided nothing. We provided Clorox wipes, hand sanitizer, and a restroom.
A place to sit.
And a place to sit. And then everyone just came and sat, and there was like a little trash can in a central location for everyone to hit with their things. And then we set up the TV in the garage.
I took a picture. I'm not trying to take a picture of the trash can. I took a picture of the arrows, and the trash can just happened to be in the middle. That was the point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was kind of, it kind of worked like a. Yeah. The trash can was kind of like a sort of traffic cone.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the traffic patterns worked out. I only caught a couple people violating the traffic laws coming in and out of the garage. But
somebody said violation.
Violation. And I mean, the
And
only
the
people
TV
who
got
really
him
knows if
bugged
it
once.
went well is like you and Rob and everyone else who came. So I mean,
Oh, I
you
loved
guys
it.
had fun, and
It was fun.
I had fun, and
I wasn't
know.
worried about it. Your kid was behind a cage in the trampoline.
Yeah,
I
we had
mean,
yeah,
So-
he was properly secured.
yes,
yeah.
having his own match, his own ladder match in the trampoline, apparently. So
Yeah, he's like wrestling the stuffed animals in the trampoline now. It's getting really out of hand.
yeah.
But
Really complicated
yeah, it was
stories
fun.
too.
yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be able to at least kind of like see a couple people now, and I feel like we've done a good job of training ourselves not to like, high five or hug when we greet or depart now. We just kind of like it's really kind of like it's become very normal to just be like, oh, you're leaving now? Okay, see ya, bye. There's nothing more warm or nurturing about it than just like, okay, see ya, wave.
If you were a fan of the Irish goodbye before this, you're in a good spot. No, it was fun. It was fun, and I love that we all completely just stood for the entirety of that main event.
Yeah, that was a good suggestion by you because as you get a little bit later in the night, you kind of even I start to wear down a little bit.
Yeah.
And you were like, we need to stand up for this one. I stood up, and that definitely added to the experience. That was a good call by you. That should be a rule just going forward for all wrestling shows, whether you're there in person or you're watching at home. The main event comes on, you get on your feet no matter what. You're gonna stand for this main event, and you add to the energy for yourself and for everyone else around you. That'd be a good role for when we all come back.
If the main
or
event,
you could just be like the guys at the PC. You could just stand for all 3 hours. Just
Ugh.
stand there.
oof.
No thanks.
Good for them.
Nope. Yeah, I caught some of them checking their watch towards the end there. So
I just want to scream, "Take it home!"
yeah, exactly. But they're probably just so scary because Vince is watching, so it's like they're probably all petrified, and that's probably why it's a different vibe. But anyways, you mentioned the stadium match. I know a lot of wrestlers not happy with it. Some of the obvious ones, some of the others. One, a Jaguars fan that was not a fan of a wrestler who was a Jaguars fan who was not a fan of his football mixing with wrestling on Saturday night. But I think all of us there enjoyed the hell out of it. I think the precursor is if you like being the elite in that kind of humor, you loved this match because it was a high budget being the elite episode match. If you don't like that,
if your brain is willing to accept, final deletion, boneyard match, maybe I should say Lucha Underground. We should lump that in there too. If your mind is willing to accept these different things where the pro wrestling genre gets kind of pushed a little bit further out, then you probably really enjoyed the heck out of this match. If you didn't like it, if you felt like it's not pro wrestling, then I don't want to be too crass about it. But look, there is no pro wrestling right now because there's no pro wrestling with real fans right now. This is what we get. This is all we have right now. So if it can just make me smile in the moment and enjoy it, and yeah, maybe I do later on go back and wonder, how in the hell did Matt Hardy transform 3 or 4 times while his head was underwater? But you know what? Who gives a crap? Because at the time, I was like marking the hell out because the first version came out of the water.
I love
With a matter of fact.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I love the whole bar thing. I was cracking up so hard when Swagger walks in and he's like, "You here to fight or you here to drink?" So they take a shot together, like, all right, let's go. And they're beating the shit out of each other. And then I love when Kenny Omega came in and freaking. And then the booze got in the milk and he's still drinking it anyway.
Right, I love
it's a Black
everything
Russian.
with the horse.
At that point.
Dude, I was cracking up. That whole match. Actually, I enjoyed the whole pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It was good.
I feel like after we discuss the pay-per-view, we should rank the 4 cinematic matches we've got. The Stadium Stampede, Money in the Bank.
That is our big
and Firefly Funhouse.
That will be our big question for this week. Then we'll take care of that one after the break. Rob, you've been trying to get in.
Well, no, I was just saying how. With the stadium match, it's like I loved everything with the horse. Just the. And the was it the rolling Northern Lights suplexes? The one of the. one of the buttons
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Where he, like, suplexed him all the way down the field. That was pretty great.
I will watch Sammy get destroyed all day, and I literally did during that match.
And did we get was one of the versions of Matt like 1994 King of the Ring hold the door jobber?
I don't think we went that far.
We definitely need that one to pop up one of these times.
Yeah, or the Hardy. Yeah, it was like the Hardy Boys when Jeff was like 17 or something.
I was waiting for High Voltage to come up.
Yeah,
That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for High Voltage.
Oh no, we poured too much water from the Lake of Reincarnation into the swimming pool.
But the first part is
it's like the swimming pool from Cocoon.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing. Santana and Ortiz should have come out as LAX.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They should have come out like somehow they're in their LAX garb from Impact. Or like,
or
how did this happen? And they like rip it off.
Or you were saying they're indie gimmick EYFBO or whatever.
It's like entertaining your fucking balls off or something is the name of the
Yeah, I remember when they were in town and we were like filming it. I was like, oh, I've heard good things about this team, and we're just like, what the hell is this name?
because they fought the Frat one of those times. Because they had the Frat and then like a revolving door of teams that weren't sticking around. You know? But like them. You know, So it's like, oh, these guys are kind of cool, and then they pop up on Impact, like,
and they were fun. There was a good time kind of tag team, and then they get on LAX, and like they're so serious, I didn't even recognize them. So but and then you go back to this, and we kind of get to come back to it. No, I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a nice departure. It was like it's a reminder that, hey, by the way, we also own the Jaguars. Because they used everything and the little details, like when I think we said last week, the replay booth. But did you notice when they were in the ring and in the background you saw a guy with an inner circle shirt on and a playbook, and he's reacting and getting mad and throwing it down on the sidelines.
He's
and
coaching.
I just knew somebody would have Gatorade at the end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and there were home cheerleaders and away cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm.
And
there was even a.
Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, I was going to say, even when you were talking about the details, and I'm not sure exactly what this is referring to, but apparently there's a very old movie called The Wrestler, or something like that. But apparently there's a bar scene in that movie that is almost like note for note what Hangman and Hager did at the bar, and they didn't like. I mean, like I said, I'll have to go back and check on it. I've only heard someone else mention it, so I'm kind of getting this information secondhand.
Like once. It's like
but there's a lot of this kind of like, these little subtle things that they don't hit you over the head with. That head coach in the background is perfect because they never like ran him over with a golf cart or anything. He's just there for like a few minutes, and you're just like, what in the hell is this thing?
And it's people doing their jobs too. You know, it's not like that Money in the Bank match where it's like, what the hell is Brother Love doing in a bathroom on Sunday night?
Well, I mean, to be fair, who would be working there on a Sunday night?
Yeah, it's like these are people that would be there at the stadium doing, and acting like it's a football game,
Yeah.
I will say, I'm gonna do my blanket statement and say JR is no longer needed on commentary. However, there was a reference, and if you had bet me $1,000, if you told me this was referenced during that Stadium Stampede match and asked me which of the three commentators made the reference, I would have given you so much money because I would have lost twice.
Yes.
When Matt Hardy stuffed, I believe it was Ortiz in the ice chest.
Yeah.
And JR dropped a fucking Foreigner reference. Like, he legit did, wow, that's cold as ice. Matt Hardy was willing to sacrifice. I'm like,
but to be
Jim,
fair, though,
who wrote that for you? And listen to them more. And stop saying Jungle Jack Perry.
But
to be fair,
Tony
though,
Khan
that
on
is
the
a
ear.
reference that's like 40 years old. So
yes, but still, that's modern for JR.
Yeah, he's just caught up.
I did laugh really hard.
Make a reference to the Andy Griffith show.
Yeah.
So
I want to point out the commentary team on the match from 1988 Great American Bash that we're going to talk about after the break is also Tony Schiavone and JR.
I was actually excited about that.
That's wild.
I think that was the only part I was excited about, and then it just went downhill from there.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Homework assignment later. But
now I didn't notice at all because I wasn't really looking for it because you expect it in every JR match anyway.
Yeah.
But during the stadium match, did he make more college football references than usual or not? Okay.
Of course, that's when he gets to let it go, right?
Because like I said, you kind of don't even notice it at this point.
No.
Oh, I tune him out completely sometimes.
Oh, but okay. Otherwise, the show was fun. I don't even remember what else was happening because that damn stadium match. But it was a good show. It was ridiculous.
It was a very good show.
Well, I know we kept on talking about how it's funny that like a lot of these matches. I mean, and guys do different things with their characters and they evolve over the years. But it's like half the matches on the show were like matches you would have seen on like Superstars 10 years ago.
Yeah. You're like,
yeah.
Oh, here's Goldust versus Ty Dillinger. Here's Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper. But
here's Stardust versus Vegas Archer.
But
they do it. Yeah, with Lance Hoyt. Yeah. They do it.
Oh my God.
I didn't even realize
that.
You forget their past.
They had a match on Heat.
Yeah. So how and speaking of which, I mentioned Big Swole earlier in every audience. I also wanted a picture-in-picture on Mike Tyson the entire time because just the joy of him watching wrestling is fantastic.
The shot of him yawning that they cut to.
Oh, that was a bad time.
He's north of 50, so I mean, you gotta.
Dude, he's jacked for his age, man. He's ready to go.
Can we stop with Mike Tyson? He's not a good guy.
If you listen, whoa.
Like, granted,
if you wanted to get all the people that were not good guys out of wrestling, we wouldn't have wrestling.
And that might not be a terrible thing.
Man,
we already got rid of the fans. Let's not get rid of the wrestlers too.
Just because I'm a bad guy doesn't mean I'm a bad guy. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
But like, you don't have to bring him in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he can be a fan. He can
he is like a legit wrestling fan at least.
Yeah, because he called Shawn Michaels Heartbreak because that's his name.
Listen, I know a lot of
Cold Stone once. I'm like, did he just want ice cream?
Matt, Mike. Okay, there are a lot of wrestling fans. Have you been on message boards? Have you talked with just general public at a Monday Night Raw? It's not much different. Okay, just because they're a big wrestling.
We have to celebrate it.
Being a wrestling fan doesn't mean that you're knowledgeable in wrestling. Even the bare minimum, and I say that with all love.
But he was like a big Bruno guy when he was a kid.
Oh yeah.
So it's like I get maybe like he wasn't really nailing it on people of the era when he was there. Yeah.
He loves
what did he add to the match? He added nothing.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that what they were doing was just trying to you're dealing with a situation where
they're trying to pop.
You're trying to get eyeballs on your product. You're trying to get some outside media exposure. And if Mike Tyson will take a certain amount of change to come in and hand over a belt, and that gets one or two outlets to promote your pay-per-view, then you go for it. Now, I don't think necessarily work because I don't think it's got a lot of traction on Mike Tyson coming in. But he'll be back on Wednesday, and maybe he'll knock out Jericho, and maybe they'll get some buzz off of that. So I don't know. But you got to take your shots where you can take them. I don't know if it was necessarily in hindsight. I don't necessarily think he was worth the trouble or probably the money to bring him in. But in the run up to it, I'm like, okay, I can see what you're doing. You're trying to make a dent here. Everyone's just glued to the news and not paying attention to much of anything anymore. So you gotta kind of cut through all that to get people to remember that you have a pay-per-view coming up on Saturday.
Yeah.
Can we also talk about that belt?
The final copy of that belt is dropping on Wednesday.
But then don't put it on your show.
Well, they had to
have a match for it.
It frustrates me to no end.
You want to hand him a briefcase?
They had a month for this fucking tournament that Cody just wanted to give himself a belt. It's exactly true.
Tony Tony Khan, the map out for the tournament was Tony Khan's call.
Okay,
he said so on the podcast. So you can't, but also
they
Cody
just green screened it. You know?
I mean, you want him to hand him a briefcase? I mean, it was like you made the plan, and it's a shifting plan they've already had to make concessions for over this, which is a hard thing to do in production. But now you have the belt maker that gets delayed because of coronavirus. You've already said this thing is going to happen. You already booked Mike Tyson, and then things don't fall through on the thing.
Okay. But conversely, if WWE did this shit, everyone will be shitting on it.
Yes. Yes.
So we should be shitting on it.
I think that's presumptuous.
Yeah, that is presumptuous. That's
we mock the belts that are finished.
Like Ron Starks might appreciate this. Well, I mean, yeah. Ron Starks, you might appreciate this. What they should have done since the belt wasn't finished. Remember, like in 1978, when they had to do the Star Wars action figures, but they didn't make enough. Yeah, the kids for Christmas all got an empty box. And it just said, "You'll get your toys in the summer." They should have just given Cody an empty box.
A golden ticket.
Like,
a golden ticket.
Belt will be in here.
Open up the box. There'll be a picture of the belt that says "Coming soon."
Coming soon. Yeah. Here's your belt.
Here's what they should have done. If the belt wasn't finished, if the belt was going to be finished for Wednesday, and you already had Mike Tyson lined up to show up live on Wednesday, you have the match go time limit draw, just like you did with Cody and Darby Allin. Then you say, okay, Tony Khan comes out. He's like, guys, I don't know what we're going to do. You have the belt like under a cloth because it's not done, so no one sees it. Then you say, all right, guys, here's what we're going to do. You guys are going to have a rematch on Dynamite, and Mike Tyson's going to be a special enforcer because let's say there was shenanigans involved with everyone around. You get Mike Tyson involved again. You have a match. It goes until there's a winner, and then you present the finished belt.
Now we're complaining about things not being finished on a pay-per-view.
I don't think they expected anybody to even care or notice the thing about the belt. I don't think they even thought about it.
Or it would be funny
if the announcers
I know they said it after the fact, but like, beforehand they're like, oh, we're going to have an unfinished belt, so just chill, all right? But everyone freaked out over it.
If they didn't say it, you wouldn't know. So don't fucking say anything.
People would have just been complaining about it.
Rob, please.
I was going to say, if anybody remembers when Ric Flair went to the WWF, right, and he had the real championship belt because it was still in his possession until the lawyers stepped in and they eventually substituted it with something else and then did the mosaic effect, to be like, oh, we can't show it, right? So the basically what I'm saying is the TNT belt until they had the real one, it should have just been an old WWF Tag Team Championship belt.
that Cody has because he held it. Yeah.
Okay, I got another idea. Here's another idea too. All right. You have the belt sitting out there, but it's underneath like a piece of velvet or something like that, so you can't actually see it. All right. They get ready to award it. Jake is so upset about the finish. He grabs the belt before anyone can really get a decent look at it, puts it into the burlap sack with the snake, and runs off with it. And then you keep it in the bag with the snake until you're ready to show it.
That's fucking perfect.
That would have worked too.
It's basically like the same as when, oh my god, like the fucking John Studd, Andre the Giant body slam challenge, where it's like, I've got this bag of money.
The belt's right in here,
but the bag never opens or whatever. So it's like, but no, just go with us. There's $10,000 in there.
Okay.
It's whatever it needs to be that's in the bag is just in the bag.
I have another
Schrodinger's.
It's Schrodinger's
title belt.
I have another suggestion. After the match, after Cody wins, when they're about to be presented the belt, Brian Cage runs out.
Yeah.
He grabs the belt from the cloth and just rips it in half. And they're like, oh no, what do we have?
Or the belt is being obscured by that giant.
He's been known to do that.
Look, I watched the pay-per-view and I looked at the belt and I'm kind of one of the old school guys. I'm like, I like to consider myself like the last of the old school trained kids, I guess. I don't know. And like, I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool. Like, I'm like, it looks old school. I'm like, cool. And I looked at it more. I'm like, wow, that belt's a piece of fucking shit.
And I think I even like the it's like we're like, oh god, it looks like shit. I mean, it's not the real belt, but it looks like shit. But then
But still, it was plain as shit.
But then we're like, but you know what though? The main belt in WWE for several years was a fucking spinner. Even when it didn't spin anymore, they kept that. Design,
I blacked out the years of really ugly fucking belts in the WWF.
I like the spinner.
Yeah.
How dare you? I like the US spinner. I was a big fan of the US title.
I like the spinner when Cena had it and when Edge mocked it. Those both made sense.
Yeah.
And when RVD was happy to have it.
With RVD, it was like, it spins.
Well, yeah, but that's because he just likes shiny colors.
Well,
but
DJ,
I also liked it when Miz turned it upside down into an M.
Yeah.
That also made sense for me.
Yeah.
As long as you have someone who incorporates their character into how the belt is perceived, an ugly title can become an awesome title. Because let's be honest, the Smoking Skull belt is ugly as fuck.
Yeah.
But god damn it, did it work for Stone Cold?
Yeah.
Brahma Bull belt. So
that belt was ugly.
And, I mean, you know what? All this talk is getting me hungry, Ronnie.
Yay! Thank you. All right, yeah, I really could go for a slice on Broadway. I haven't had it since the quarantine began. So, Sorgi, let's get some slice on Broadway soon. Even if we have to sit outside on the sidewalk, we're gonna eat that slice on Broadway.
I'm seeing the line of people picking up their slice on Broadway when we're driving by here in the neighborhood here in Beachview. Welcome to Bitchview.
Are people picking up the perfect pepperoni pizza from podcasting?
Welcome to Bitchview, the home of wrestling podcasts. It comes together. You guys can get some pizza and bitch about wrestling too. SliceOnBroadway.com. 4 locations at a ballpark that used to have sports. And you come for the pizza. Stay for the sports if you're lazy. East End, Carnegie, Beachview. Check them out.
What sports?
Supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Our friends SliceOnBroadway.com. Guys, we're going to be back with a lesson from Jacob Edwin, what we learned, and a big question that we just previewed after you hear from Katie and this. Okay. Anybody go?
I feel fantastic.
Feel fantastic?
Live,
I feel fantastic.
I feel
you guys
fantastic.
just made me snort, man.
Oh, Matt, no.
I'm still watching it back.
That's good.
I'm
I love this. I'm a new hero.
It had Barry Windham and Dusty Rhodes, and Dusty tried to do a drop down, and it was just the worst looking.
I'm gonna actually.
We should all just have to watch exclusively nothing but like mid to late 80s, and
my God, I want to
for the rest of our lives.
I want to do a Mystery Science Theater thing where we're all watching shitty professional wrestling and we just criticize it the entire time.
I'll tell you what, we could do it. Like Sorg's got the DVD. I'm sure he's got at least one bad show in his collection of DVDs on IndieWrestling.us. You don't have to worry about the rights on that. Just fire it up and let everyone sit back and enjoy.
What do you mean January 2019 Fight Society?
Dude, what?
Well, yeah.
whatever that Danny Abel thing was.
Oh no! Shh! We don't talk about that little fucker on anything.
No, I mean the one I filmed my first show at Fight
Oh,
Society.
are you talking about when the Lion King played and like at first we were all singing Lion King and then we realized, wait, what's going on right now? And it was him just trying to be Matt Hardy.
I don't recall.
Did he try to slap a tornado?
Possibly. We're talking about Sorg. We're talking about the first Abel versus match when Lion King was playing and we all didn't know what to do with ourselves at Fight Society.
I'm thinking of whatever the all around the building brawl they did.
No, yeah, that was it. And Lion King played the whole time. Yeah.
What? Are we talking about
Danny
PWX?
Abel's first Abelverse match when Lion King was playing? Yeah.
Oh fuck! Did I even put that in the thing?
What's that?
Did we even put that on the show?
No, we just ignored it.
Did we?
Yeah, we.
Because I remember you like I wasn't there. It was shot, and then I'm like, and nobody like gave me any assets for his shit, and then I was like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
Well, not to mention color commentary shit on it the entire time. You just edited it out because legit, they're like, this is the worst fucking match I've ever seen. Like it was.
There's I mean, there's.
I mean, look at what they're doing now, Sorg. You know,
I am on a live microphone, and I'm going to shut up.
Oh, whoops. Oh, I don't care. What am I going to do? Get yelled at?
I don't know.
What?
I mean, Ronnie, I don't have to say anything about certain things.
Just let me be the one to take the heat, pal.
Ronnie, what do I think about this?
Well, let me tell you what you think about this. we both have the same feelings about it. So I'm just really happy Fight Underground is going to be a thing. Because
yes.
we can actually do something productive.
Oh, boy.
Unlike places in McKeesport that don't know the terminology of productive professional wrestling.
Uh-oh.
Productive and independent wrestling? When has that been a thing?
Obviously not in McKeesport.
Oh, boy. Jeez.
You guys feel the heat coming off me? Yes.
Radiating.
I can't wait to get an evil message. I hope somebody gets really offended by that.
Ronnie Starks is ready for a shoot video or a shoot interview 2 hours plus in a hotel room with everyone.
Look, in all honesty, and I'm just going to say this, I enjoyed my time when I worked for PWX and when we were doing Fight Society. But then now we're moving on to bigger and better things, and I'm happy to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully I can correct myself without getting too much heat for that. But yeah,
it's okay.
So,
no, Ronnie, nobody watches this show. You're fine.
In that case,
just like wrestling in McKeesport, nobody watches this.
Yeah, nobody watches that shit. I would go into a multiverse conversation, but no, I'm good, thanks. If it's not Matt, then it ain't worth my time.
Mirror universe.
No, you can slam that tornado.
An unfortunate transporter accident sent me back into your reality.
It's never a fortunate.
I'm here to warn you. Don't go to mine.
It's unfortunate.
I'm here to warn you. Don't go to McKeesport, Pennsylvania.
A fortunate transporter accident where I now have boobs.
Yeah. It's never thank God I had an accident, but this happened.
Why is the alternative always my facial hair? Why can't it be something fun?
They never have a transporter accident where they're taken to a parallel universe where things are better.
Yeah.
Hold on.
What?
They do. There was one time on The Simpsons during Treehouse of Horror when Homer had the time traveling toaster. He shows up in one reality where they're in a fancy house, the kids are well behaved, Marge's sisters are dead, and Homer's like, "Ooh, this turned out all right." And he's like, "Marge, would you please hand me a donut?" She says, "What's a donut?" He immediately freaks and leaves, and then as he does that, oh look, it's raining again, and it's raining donuts.
It's basically the plot for yesterday.
I would kill for Universal Studios to do a themed Treehouse of Horror area.
I thought they do that during Halloween Horror Nights.
They don't. Well, they can't now because now Disney owns.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, I think the licensing rights for theme parks are different. Because those contracts still exist because there's still a Marvel World at Universal Florida.
That Spider-Man route at Marvel World is the greatest thing ever.
It's like Marvel's Islands of Adventures or whatever it's been.
Yeah. It's great. I enjoy it. They have the characters are out, and they walk around.
It's funny, like in the mid '90s, like before Marvel went through bankruptcy, like they were making all sorts of bad decisions. Where there was a Planet Hollywood Hard Rock Cafe style Marvel restaurant, where it had like Iron Man's armor, all this blah blah blah, but it was all like phony stuff that doesn't, like you maybe had cartoons at that point, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like that's something that like now you could do that again, and it would actually be
fun.
I think they are doing that in
like probably Disney.
In Disneyland, they're having an Avengers Academy
training facility.
Yeah.
Well, they're turning the Aerosmith roller coaster. It's going to be an Iron Man roller coaster.
There's an Aerosmith roller coaster?
It is the
Rock and roller coaster.
Because they lost the rights. They lost all the Aerosmith rights.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're doing that, and then they're doing a Guardians of the Galaxy ride over in Epcot.
Yeah.
Because they can't make a Marvel land.
Is Is this like at Geauga Lake when they lost to Six Flags and the Batman and the Superman ride just became some other random shit?
But it still was the same colors.
Oh, yeah.
Still, like, they
yeah,
still sold DC merchandise.
They
But
did?
they lost the rights. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it reminds me, is there like whenever they name a street after a famous person, you know, it's like, is it the same thing where it's just the same street that just keeps getting renamed over and over and over?
Who the hell is John F. Kennedy?
Yeah.
Who
Well,
the
I
hell
mean,
is
you got
John F. Kennedy?
well, you've got your ones like that, but I mean, when it's like Mr. T Boulevard, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
did it become like
those,
Pauly Shore Way, you know, at some point?
a lot of those things are like ornamental, and they usually have to go through a lot of petitions and stuff. Because I know the street outside Yankee Stadium was River Avenue.
Yeah.
But there's now a sign below it that says Rivera Avenue.
Oh, okay.
So it's still River Ave, but there is a sign right by Yankee Stadium that says Rivera Avenue.
They say tomato, I say tomato. Yeah.
You know, to confuse people.
Okay. Let's get back to the show.
In Great American Bash,
productive goal.
Dusty's been in an iron claw for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's how they work.
Yeah,
But the crowd is loving it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference.
Crowd does not know what a cell phone is.
No, they don't. No.
I know.
Unlike Gotham.
If that was the case, I would be on my cell phone in the crowd the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna intentionally do a bunch of jokes tomorrow, where like I'm gonna somehow get myself in front of the hard cam on my cell phone as I'm filming the show, and like I'm gonna just do the dumbest shit the entire time and see if I get in trouble.
I approve of this plan, Ronnie.
They're just gonna be like, "What are you doing?" And I'll be like, "It's fun." And I'm just gonna be obnoxious the entire time. And I'll randomly start a CM Punk shit, see if anybody like yells at me. For it.
There's going to be a lot more dick shots in there.
By the way, can we say that the
Dick shot.
thing that has gotten Asuka over the most is no fans?
Yeah.
Like,
Has it gotten her over, or was she going to get over anyways? They put her on every show like this, you know.
No, she would never get over because every time she would speak, there'd be a what chant. Every time. That's
possible, but
First
yeah,
of all,
she's definitely done. I mean, of all the people who's raised their stock, I mean, I'm asking a big question. I'm not supposed to do that. Sorry.
Well, my two spirit animals in professional wrestling.
We'll save that for next week.
Are Asuka and Orange Cassidy. Those are my two spirit animals in professional wrestling. So, I love me some Orange Cassidy.
I liked him in the ladder match. Where
That was funny.
He's like, I don't know what to do. He's like, he just stands there.
He goes up to X. He's like, what do I have to do?
Oh, dude, I was laughing
Really?
so hard. I really wanted him to win.
He's like, climb it.
Which it kind of what's funny is it's kind of a different take on the whole slow climb bullshit. Like he's right there. Why isn't he going for it? Kind of, you know.
Because he's like, I don't know how to use a ladder. He's like, I don't know how this works.
Because he was like the only one in the ring for like a good 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he easily could have won the match.
Yeah, and like I love that they're like keep saying like he's so pissed off right now. He's so pissed he has to do this. He doesn't know what he's like. He just looks so pissed, and I was laughing so hard. Like, oh my god. I love AEW. I can watch that every week, but if you guys try to force me to watch the Fed, I can't do it.
It's the Wrestling Mayhem show. We're still chatting up here with everybody, and it is time for the big question. You just who was it, Mike? Mike, were you the one that dropped it here earlier in the show? That was that big question again.
Okay, so in the love in the time of Corona, we've had basically 4 really massive cinematic matches. I'm assuming we've all seen all 4 of them.
Hypothetically.
The big question, Money in the Bank, Boneyard match, Firefly Funhouse, Stadium Stampede. Rank them.
May I start?
Go for it.
All right. Boneyard match. Number 1. Stadium Stampede number 2. Firefly Funhouse number 3. What's the other 2?
Money in the Bank. That's the last one.
Oh, Money in the Bank was terrible.
Ooh. Wow.
But yeah, that's my ranking.
Wow. I'm gonna go Stadium, Boneyard, Money in the Bank, Firefly.
Ow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next?
Go, Rob.
Go for it, Rob.
Okay, I would go Stadium again, there, like as we said, it was really fun, and there's a lot going on, and things. Then Boneyard number 2. I want to say Firefly Funhouse 3, even though it really wasn't even just a match, but it was something where they took advantage of it not being a live thing. And then Money in the Bank was just so lame because it was just kick and punch down hallways. That's there wasn't
fun.
a lot of.
It was fun.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun, but
did you say kick and punch?
Yeah, pretty much.
Are you talking about a Zack Hunter match? Because that's all he does is kick and punch.
Yeah.
Why wasn't he in Money in the Bank?
He didn't try to headline a pay-per-view with because it's like it wasn't until they got. Well, I mean, there was funny stuff like running into, or like AJ Styles being afraid to walk past anything with the Undertaker on it. So like funny stuff like that. But everything was just kicking and punching, and if there was a table, maybe somebody would go through it, and then there was a food fight. And just it wasn't until it really got up to the top where anybody did any actual like wrestling.
I'm just upset Paul Heyman didn't get a sandwich.
Yeah.
Like, how dare they not let Paul Heyman eat?
I think he doesn't miss a lot of sandwiches, so.
Oh,
whoa.
Bro, I didn't miss too many sandwiches during the quarantine either. It's fine.
He's a nice man. He bought me a bagel once.
All right, what about you, Matt?
I will go Boneyard. Just because, I mean, it was kind of first to the party, so it gets that benefit, and it was like such a rush and just an assault on the senses to watch it the first time. And I will go Stadium Stampede number 2, and then I'm having a really hard time like deciding between Money in the Bank or Firefly Funhouse, because Firefly is just kind of like such an outlier kind of thing. Like, it's barely a match, like barely. I mean, but like Money in the Bank was just kind of like just kind of was just so blah, it just didn't, there wasn't a whole lot of spark in Money in the Bank. So just because at least I know that a lot of thought went into the Firefly, I'll go Firefly Funhouse 3, and I will let Money in the Bank sink to the bottom.
All right, for me, I have Firefly first because that's as close to a character study as we're ever going to get for professional wrestling. Because it was literally like it was Bray Wyatt doing a thesis on John Cena the character, and it was amazing.
And as far as it barely being a match too, it's like it seems like it didn't try to really be a match either.
No.
So it's got that working for it. Whereas if you were trying to do and it didn't come off well, that would be different, I guess. So I guess that's fair.
Yeah. 2 for me was Stadium. There was a lot going on in that match, like a lot going on, and I appreciated a lot of it. Some of it was a little too much. Like Hangman just literally walking around backstage on a horse for about 15 minutes of the match, when it was very clear that Sammy was able to get back to the field somehow. I'm like, how does that happen? But then
wait, Mike, I have an answer for you. He's been drunk in the woods for at least a month.
So have I. I would know where the fucking match was, though.
Yeah. I've gotten lost in plenty of stadiums sober, so.
All right, I guess that's fair. But number 3, I'm gonna go Money in the Bank. Strictly for Asuka and AJ's PTSD. Like, because I like the fact that it carried over. I like AJ's character carried over from that. And number 4, I'll go Boneyard. Nothing wrong with it, but the fact that Gallows and Anderson got let go almost immediately after it kind of sours it for me.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And that's the thing. I don't think any of us are really kind of shitting on any matches in this order.
No.
I want to state that. So, like, this is just a preference order. This is not a Boneyard sucked. No, it's
fun to rank them since we've had
it's like even with Money in the Bank thing, it's like okay, it was. Even if I didn't like the match so much, it was interesting that they went, that they did what they did. It's like let's go all around the building and do shit. Yeah. Which that reminded me too in the ladder match on the AEW pay-per-view. Like I know I was thinking of it as the match was happening. They came out at different intervals, right? Like 2-minute intervals. What if somebody won the match before?
That was the danger.
Then
that was a
would have been
possibility.
too bad for those guys. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like what if before Brian Cage came out, what if somebody won the match?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
The thing that pissed me off the most was that the two SCU guys started the match.
Oh.
Yeah.
That Scorpio and Frankie both started the match. I'm like,
Mhm.
you guys are in a faction together. Like, it's like if you had the New Age Outlaws start that match, one of them is winning right away.
Mm.
It's like Demolition.
Well,
both coming out
it's-
first at Royal Rumble.
Speaking
yeah.
But
of New
Royal
Age
Rumble, you're
Outlaws,
not
they
guaranteed-
did.
Royal Rumble, you're not guaranteed to win.
Yeah, Rob.
But I was gonna say with the New Age Outlaws, I think there was like a pay-per-view tag match, like one of those multi-team ones, like 3 or 4 teams, where all you had to do was pin somebody to win the match. To where one of them did pin the other one, so that they would win the match.
And
Like
then they had
room or something.
And then
What's
they
that?
had a rematch of that where they enforced the outlaw rule where you couldn't pin your partner.
Hey, we gotta roll back for a minute here. Rob, what the fuck is going on in your shot right now?
Yeah, what are you
Are
watching right
you? I don't.
you know what?
You're getting way too artistic back there.
now? What are you watching right now?
Oh no! You know what it is? It's I guess you get the poster frame
Yeah.
in the background, but it's
no, I'm
reflecting
getting a shot of
the
you
TV.
and like you in the corner and your poster behind you showing off the Punisher, Dolph Lundgren, very impressive by the way. And
That's a good one. But yeah, I didn't realize it was reflecting my TV.
No.
It
The point
But
is,
homework
you're
assignment.
down here, the posters are over here,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
It's
why is he being artistic on this
I-
podcast?
It really
Thank
makes
God
that
he
was-
wasn't watching porn. That's all I'm
it's
saying.
clearly my
it makes sense that the match we were assigned to watch is reflecting off Punisher.
Is Rob
That wasn't punishment.
is Rob making an attempt at a cinematic podcast?
I'm not. But had I thought about it,
Rob, I rank you as my number one cinematic of the year.
yeah.
Yes.
Ronnie, did you give your list yet?
Yeah, I already did.
Okay, everybody
We
did.
have a
Everybody did.
couple in the chat.
There are a couple in the
Everybody
chat.
actually had a different ranking.
Yeah, exactly. Alex in California says Stadium, Boneyard, Funhouse, deep down in 4 is Money in the Bank. He puts a big line on that.
was mine.
Tina says Stadium, Boneyard, Firefly, Money in the Bank. This is, it's all kind of coming together. I'm surprised we're
Very
all
nice.
on the same page mostly for Stadium. I thought we were going to be hitting that a little bit.
But yeah, I guess what I forget who said it, but I guess that is interesting to take into account the WrestleMania ones, where they didn't make the call on that until probably very late in the game. You know?
Yeah.
Whereas something like the Stadium thing, they probably. But
They
the-
probably
been
planning
planning it.
that for months.
Probably been
Yeah.
thinking about it for a while, right? So and you never know. And we pontificated. What was the is there something along the lines that they were thinking about doing something in the stadium this whole time, but maybe not that since they have access to it. But this is what we got because of the situation. There's other things that they wanted to do that would have happened, and double or nothing plans and all that kinds of things. The Vegas props seem weird, not in Vegas, for instance. But anyways, with that,
I mean, hey, if you ever lived on in that part of the country, though, you maybe have caught a casino boat out the
That's
the
true.
waters.
There you go.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
There
the
you go.
casino thing was not completely foreign to that part of the country. But yeah, you're right. What are we gonna do with all these extra giant poker chips? Well,
because I went to school in Mississippi, and there weren't any like brick and mortar casinos. I think at the time in the area, but there were a lot of like, casino boats right off.
Yeah.
I mean, it was basically like, they were boats in the way that a houseboat is a boat. It's not really a boat.
yeah, it's like you hop on this I want to call it a catamaran, but I guess I'll call it a catamaran.
Or like a catwalk.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
get
and
to
it's
it.
like this old rickety boat
Mhm.
with a level that you cannot enter until you get out to that part of the ocean. They open it up. It's like slot machines. Yeah, so
all right, it is time for our homework assignment. Your assignment for this week was the groans are starting. It was you can find it legally over at WWE Network. I'm sure it's a bunch of other places too. From the Great American Bash, not the Greensboro Hidden Gems, the Great American Bash. It was the Fantastics against the Midnight Express with one Jim Cornette in the shark cage and in the straitjacket. I love that he also needed to be in the straitjacket. Was this? I wonder if this is after they already did a cage where he got out or something.
You can never be too careful, Sorg.
Before we get to that, before anything is said on this, I want to prerequisite this in this discussion. In reference to Jim Cornette, because I know there's people that have thoughts on Jim Cornette. Mm-hmm. I want people to disqualify what he said lately on his podcast or Twitter. We were talking about 1988 Jim Cornette as a wrestling personality, not Dark Side of the Ring Jim Cornette, not podcast,
fair,
Twitter.
I think he still is 1988.
I know.
He just has more of a platform now.
Yeah.
Can I start out by saying
things changed around him?
Ronnie?
Sorry, Rob, I didn't mean to cut you
Yeah,
off.
no, that's fine. Yeah.
I just want to start off by saying, as a wrestling manager, Jim Cornette is one of the greatest wrestling managers in pro wrestling history. His mannerisms, the way he conducted himself, he was probably the most entertaining part of that whole goddamn piece of shit match.
He was pulled up in a ball in the shark cage the whole time, Ronnie. He was barely moving.
All right, the first 6 minutes of him arguing with the referee, leading up to them putting the straitjacket on and putting him in the cage, him saying, "Take care of my jacket. My mama gave me that today, just for today."
Mm-hmm.
And then he was screaming for his mama as they were raising the cage.
Yeah.
I was cracking up. I'm like, all right, Jim Cornette is a great manager. The match, just in general, was awful. The ending was terrible. You drug a match on that long just so the dude can use brass knuckles? Like, come on, man.
But the whole, and again, like kind of Jim Cornette's antics kind of raised the question to me where, like I hear about it more happening with WWE and maybe later day or kind of not end of days WCW, but late 90s WCW where did they ever run late on shows or think like times run long? Because
couple minutes.
Because like you said with Cornette at the beginning of the match, he mugs for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But the show itself, at least the version we see, it's like 2.5 hours, maybe.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have been pushing any sort of like 3-hour window or.
And by the way, the entire cage setup is on this with bad overdub music. So.
Yeah. Oh, that music.
Skip the entrances.
It's like mid '80s fart rock that just kind of.
It was bad.
Goes over it. Yeah.
Guys,
Mike.
Let me tell you about a tag team match I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That I greatly enjoyed.
Yeah.
Had one of the hottest young tag teams in the history of the sport. Had one of wrestling's greatest managers and another tag team who is underrated in my opinion.
Are you talking about OSHA?
I saw the Rockers versus the Orient Express from Royal Rumble 91.
Why would he be talking about us?
No, I'm just kidding. This match was a piece of shit. It was just fucking terrible.
No, it was.
Oh my god! And again, I know I've said this before. What a WCW finish that was!
Yeah, it was
and they weren't even WCW yet.
Oh,
I don't think.
No, they weren't.
No.
This is sad.
Mm-hmm.
This is so sad.
And to kind of bring it home too, the match before, like I was watching the whole show. Like this was what the U.S. tag belts,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
The world tag was right before it, and the world tag in that match had like a total dusty finish. Like it was a time, I think it was a time limit expired or time limit draw, whatever, or something like that. So to have on the same show back to back, really screwy. It's like that they had both tag matches back to back anyway, or tag title matches, and then to have them both end in less than clean manner,
the one before was a time limit draw.
Yeah, because Nikita and Sting were like putting on the belts, and the refs like, no, So now you had again this second match where the faces got screwed because somebody had did the whole look. I'm wrapping a chain around around my hand.
By the way, the presentation of the chain was nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
and then the goofy ass cage match right after that. So it's
can we talk about that instead?
Oh no, we will.
I turned that shit off right
we
off
will.
the time.
We will.
92-year-old
But first of all,
Ivan Koloff climbing a triple cage.
we'll get to that. We'll get that. Hold off on that. We need to stay on task, guys.
Yeah. This match.
What would the professor say if we were going off task like this?
Exactly.
Give us an assignment to do.
I'll tell the professor exactly what he can do with his task.
Wow.
The professor and I have heat, man. This is real heat. You know,
So other than that, I started discovering this as I started digging through like Smoky Mountain Wrestling when it started coming on the network and everything. I am familiar with Jim Cornette as '90s WWF Jim Cornette, right?
Okay.
That's quote unquote my Jim Cornette. Like I remember when he was coming in with a Yokozuna and things like that. I don't know this Jim Cornette that is the mama's boy. I this is new to me and enjoyable, or at least curious, I guess. You know, because the whole what you were saying before, the mom gave me that jacket last night or something, you know, and I didn't have my cookies and milk last night or and stuff like that. Like this is fascinating Southern persona analysis right here.
In the South, everyone hates their mothers.
Oh yeah.
So you never saw Masked Cornette then, have you?
Masked Cornette?
What?
No, he I forget, it was like I think he had his head shaved or something after a match, and this is like earlier, like mid 80s. Well, I mean this is late 80s, but it was even earlier where he wore a mask for a while just because his head was shaved or something like that.
Totally Google it.
So it popped up as a random, I don't know if it was something on the network or if it was one of the other, there's this wrestling channel on Roku that shows just random shit where it just comes up and Jim Cornette's wearing a mask and I'm like, I got to see what this is about. but yes, there was a short, kind of remember when CM Punk wore a mask for 3 weeks?
Yeah, because he had his head shaved. Yeah.
So it's like that, where you would just see that and be like, what is when was this, you know?
I love you basically image search anything Cornette and you get G Raver's t-shirt.
Oh, no, that's great.
Yeah, a little Streisand effect there.
Sorgi, I feel like I got to jump in here.
Oh, Matt, we didn't get you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Matt.
Because I've let the boys have their fun. Show
right.
Jim Cornette.
Evil Mirror Universe mainstream Matt.
I don't believe that T-shirt exists. I've come from the Mirror Universe to tell you all I like this match.
Whoa!
Okay? I like this match.
I'm going to need you to grow your beard back.
The main reason that I like this match, I have not been exposed very much to, if at all, to the Fantastics. I know literally nothing about that. I fell in love with Tommy Rogers during this match. I fell in love. I love him, and I want to see more. And after I saw him, basically compete for 90% of this match before lazy ass Bobby Fulton finally got in,
and he was.
I had to go ahead.
I was gonna say, and he's fascinating because he's the only guy in the match that's not a blonde with a mullet.
Yeah,
yeah. I can identify.
I don't know. He was doing all this cool stuff. He was doing flipping out of moves, and he just looked awesome. Great drop, all this great stuff. So I really got into it. I went and I tried to look up more about him because I, like I said, I know nothing about the Fantastics or Tommy Rogers, and come to find out that he's no longer with us, which is sad. But that. He did some Japan, and he actually was involved in the very early days of ECW. And if his Wikipedia is to be believed, apparently Tommy Rogers may have invented the Unprettier.
Whoa!
AKA the kill switch.
The
Tamakaze.
Yeah.
Tamakaze. So Tommy effing Rogers put this over the top for me. Sorg, you don't have to couch it. Jim Cornette in this time is a great wrestling manager, a great personality. The crowd hates him. The Mama's Boy stuff is great. And I even started to like Stan Lane a little bit here. But, I didn't mind the finish as much as you guys did. I just kind of watched it and I said, well, I guess they had to get the belts off these guys.
I want to say
I mistook the Fantastics with I think the Fabulous Ones, which ironically is the team that Stan Lane was on before the Midnight Express. So
Matt,
there was the crazy like snake eating its own tail thing going on during this time period during the 80s where everyone's doing like derivatives of the Fabulous Ones and the Rock and Rolls and the Midnight Express, and they're just like repeating his stuff. So you have like the Fantastic Ones, and then you have the Fantastics, and you have the Fabulous Ones, and you got and then all this other stuff gets jumbled. You got the Rock and Rolls and the Rockers. You got, it's a mess.
Hey, Matt. If you want more Tommy Rogers, I don't know if this exists on YouTube. His last match was in 2005. I believe it looks like Royal Rumble weekend. It's a 4-on-3 handicap match. The Rock and Roll Express and the Fantastics against the Midnight Express.
Like all of them.
But,
it's because Ricky and Robert, Bobby and Tommy against Bobby Eaton, Des Kadri, and Sweet Stan Lane.
Because that list of Midnight Express, when I checked out that Wikipedia, was deep. Rob, go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, Rob.
Speaking of the Rockers, though, when you mentioned that, it's like, again, to show how much of a knockoff each of these were, it's like the Rockers were originally the Midnight Rockers, which is the Midnight Express. And
that's because the Rockers were in Smoky Mountain.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a ripoff. It was Cornette ripping off his own stuff.
Yeah, it was everything was Midnight, Rock, and Express.
There are 3 tag team gimmicks during the mid '80s, and you've got to get one version of it. They just like stir it all together, and like whichever comes out, you're going to get one version of this gimmick. Anyway, I even found an old YouTube where like Rob Van Dam sits down and has like a little chat with Tommy Rogers for like 10 minutes. It's really cool. You can tell like Rob actually respects Tommy, and Tommy was living great, enjoying his life. He had moved to Hawaii, and it's really cool to like have someone kind of like grab you like that. So now I'll be off in a Tommy Rogers rabbit hole here soon.
I'm looking at Tommy Rogers match listings on Cage Match. Tommy Rogers had a match in ECW against Dr. Luther.
There it is.
Wow.
I heard that he was that during maybe like 98 ECW, he was teaming with Jerry Lynn, and then he went on to like do some agent work backstage for ECW. So he's might have had who knows how much to do with the development of some of those guys coming up. It's really interesting. So
Matt, you want to go to Raw is War, episode number 214.
Yes.
Tommy Rogers versus Bobby Fulton.
Yes, I heard about this one. I did hear about this while I was looking stuff up. Yeah.
Was that during the ECW invasion?
No, I believe it was during the Smoky Mountain invasion.
Oh boy.
I think they brought them in to like work their light heavyweight division for like a match, and that was it. So.
It's a less than 3-minute barn burner.
Yeah.
So so we got some notes here. I got my own notes that I have not gotten to yet. We have the chat room notes as well. Tina's letting us know, oh shit, you should watch Memphis Wrestling in Mid-South Cornette. Mid-South is where he got his head shaved. So there you go. Also, Marty Jannetty and Tommy Rogers were a tag team in Central States Wrestling back in the day, tying a lot of that together. And Cubby
Not sure I'm going, but
Cubby is also iterating Memphis Cornette was the best. I have my notes, so follow along with me, please. I noticed that I would not be okay being in the cage myself because I'm afraid of heights, so would not be okay with that. Matt, I don't know if you noticed the exposure being adjusted in the middle of the match. Like they were having some issues, and I'm just like, wow, this is like one of the biggest events from one of the biggest companies in the 80s. Okay, but the audience, I noticed how far away the audience was kind of interesting. It feels kind of how New Japan does it even still today with that. Because I
did notice the complete absence of padding around the ring. That was just like enjoy the concrete floor.
Yeah, to that he does that power slam with him hanging on the ropes right to the floor. Like,
and that's if you don't hit a chair on the way down.
I felt that. That was rough.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was like. Well, let me see if you mention it during your notes, and I'll mention one more thing.
The power slam. This felt like, to me, for my perception going into an 80s match, this felt like a really high movement 80s match. Like there were points where they really got going, and like you said, with the flips and everything like that, 80s, but at least as far as that goes, I really enjoyed that. I felt like we got right into a headlock move pretty quick, but we didn't stay in it as long as it felt like. that we were going to, because I'm like, oh great, there'll be a headline. Like the crowd is eating it up because that's what we're at with crowds and everything, and they're in that believing that running that guy to fight out. But it was a lot more action than I expected for an 80s tag team express fabulous whatever they're called kind of match.
Fantastic.
Fantastic Express match.
The Fantastic Express, yeah.
Team Fantastic.
It's like the worst Fantastic Four spinoff. Yeah.
Knowing especially, a little bit about what we deal with the Pennsylvania Athletic Commission, hearing about when New Orleans, Louisiana Athletic Commission, things like that, kind of pay attention to those a little bit more because of circumstances. There was a point in this where they pointed out,
yes,
and then showed, follow along with me, the Maryland Athletic Commission, who apparently at some point approved the shark cage.
Yes.
Okay? Roll with me here. So your Athletic Commission, this is the same commission, the very same commission that is there taking weights at a boxing match and making sure you don't have shit on your gloves and face for a boxing match, who approved a straitjacket and shark cage for a manager to be suspended 30 feet? How high was he? Too much.
Could have been at least 50.
Too high for me. Too high for me.
Like
Too high for me.
maybe 90.
10 feet. 6 feet. 6 feet equals fall protection. If I remember my safety videos work from the 2000s, I worked on correctly.
Safety.
That's right. There's a crossover, OSHA. So I just that they gave a lot of love to the Athletic Commission in these shows, and I think they generally did a lot amongst especially NWA, early WCW, when you watch these big shows. But that just kind of stuck out for me. Also, I've never seen like a referee take his shirt off to adjust for an eye gouge. That was just like, why is it? Like, he got hit in the eye. Why is he taking his shirt off? So.
The first and last time you've ever seen it, Professor. It's like,
it's okay. Then they suspended him from the top of the cage the next match. Rob, go ahead.
So it's funny that they would approve the cage and straitjacket and stuff, but like when you combine them, if the cage were to fall and he's restrained by his straitjacket, he can't even protect himself.
Right?
If he does, he does.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah. So it's he could free fall and just have to eat it.
So there's that. So that was fun. Either way, like it or hate it, I think we learned a lot. And now evil mainstream Matt is going to be going on a Stan Lane line.
No, don't get it twisted, Sorgi. I mean, I like Stan Lane plenty. He was all right. The one who talks on the Midnight Express as opposed to silent, mute Bobby Eaton.
He's the road dog.
Yeah, Stan Lane, Mr. Charisma. But I don't, as you mentioned, there are multiple Great American Bash pay-per-views that you could stumble into. I don't know if I was watching the Greensboro Hidden Gems version or if this actually happened in the actual match we were supposed to watch, but there was a moment in one of these matches where Fantastics get a steel chair. They unfold it. They place it in the middle of the ring, as you would if you were going to have someone sit in it, as a normal person would do. Mm-hmm. One of them hoists up Bobby Eaton and gives him an atomic drop, except he lands butt first directly onto the seat of the chair. Completely safe, right? Like, the least harmful high spot. Bobby Eaton's like, he's like dead. The crowd's going berserk for this. I'm like, what a great, they need to bring this one back, Safe,
there
good
you go.
Pop.
There you go.
Please tell me he said have a seat after you gave him the atomic drop. I
couldn't hear the audio, as Sorg alluded to. The television and audio production was not quite there.
No.
But you know what? The live event, I mean, you could tell the crew, I mean, I'm sure Sorg was just like staring at that Tower of Doom setup.
Oh my god!
For the whole time, just like I was. They're out there with the ladders and everything. Those boys were working hard. So
I want to get to the Tower of Doom, but in the meantime, we had some fun here. But we do have another assignment ready for us from Jacob Edwin. So here,
this fucking guy.
Here we go.
Here we go. Come on, 19.
I don't know why it's not playing. Oh no, there's no audio. Hold on, we'll fix it in post. It's okay, we'll fix it in post. My live spot messed up. Why isn't this working?
Hold on. Sorry.
Oh, hold on.
What's your reaction? Oh, that match is terrible.
How about that assignment, huh?
I don't want to
Rubble.
Jesus, USWA, what the fuck?
I don't know why it's not playing. I don't know what's happening right now.
10
awesome.
more
That's
years
okay.
back
Jacob,
into
Oh,
the
there it is.
past.
There
This
we
week's
go.
assignment.
There we
I'm
go.
gonna keep it
Okay.
short and sweet into
Don't worry.
wrestling.
Nobody that watches this later will see this part. And here you
Great.
go with your assignment,
Neither will
as
we.
if it never happened.
Hello, Wrestling Mayhem Show. My name is Professor Jacob Edwin. This week's assignment, I'm going to keep it short and sweet and to the point. If you don't like this next assignment, there's something wrong with you. I thought it would stop beating around the bush. CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan, champion versus champion, February 24th, 2012 on Smackdown. They had a lot of matches this year. I decided to just kind of pick one. This one, you're going to see a lot of play back and forth as far as outside interference or stopping and starting. But you also get a lot of wrestling, like a lot of really good wrestling that you can study and actually learn from. I doubt any of you will learn anything from it, but maybe it'll luck out and by osmosis you'll actually gain a little bit of knowledge. I doubt it. You'll probably just be bitter and tell me how bad the match is, but I don't care. I know it's good, and I know I'm better for it. So, learn or don't. Thank you.
You're not welcome.
This one
Listen,
doesn't sound like
okay.
it has any shark cages.
Sorg, it
Okay.
sounds like I've already got a failing grade in this class.
As a CM Punk mark, I will watch this match.
I think I actually remember this match. So
Yeah.
because this is around the time that infamous photo was taken where like Punk was champion, Bryan was champion, Cody was champion, Kofi was champion, like Zack Ryder. I think it was around that time where that very famous photo was taken. So
Nice.
yeah, this should be fun.
All right, there you go. Okay, extra credit. Let's talk about that damn cage match because I know
Holy
because it was the next one. It was a Tower of Doom. It was a 3-tier cage. You actually climbed a ladder on the outside and entered War Game style, 2 people at a time, and you had to work your way down into the cage. Down and wait. Every 2 minutes, a door. Wait. So every 2 minutes, a door would open, getting you down a level to the next cage that you can try to get in. That door is only open for 10 seconds, and there's 4-on-4, 5-on-5, I think.
5-on-5.
5-on-5, and you have to get down to the main ring cage and ask Precious to let you out of the cage because she has the key. And she's in the ring.
Man. This was part Ready to Rumble, part Punjabi Prison, part terrible wrestlers, and I love it.
And it was like it's like the door is open for 10 seconds or until Ronnie Garvin finally gets through the goddamn door.
Yeah, they're getting hung up a lot. They're getting hung up a lot.
Seconds to get down that. They take like one of the oldest guys in the match.
Because he was hands of stone but ass of lead.
Yeah. And then, also, I think like Road Warrior Animal had one of the coolest paint jobs I've ever seen him.
I thought it was a mask.
Yeah,
I thought it was a mask.
because it looked kind of like a Spartan helmet, kind of the sharp, like a lot of angles on it. But that has to be one of the coolest paint jobs I've seen on Animal ever.
It looked fantastic.
Yeah,
Like, I thought it was a legit mask. Like there was a gimmick where he had his nose broken or something like that. But I'm like, no, that's just paint.
yeah. Because
That-
on the wider,
That's looking.
shot, it just like pops.
Yeah, it almost looked like what he should have looked like in LOD 2000.
So this was I was thinking I was messaging in Slack or something like this was a wild match. Like this really was kind of a wild match. The way it was. I mean, and of course everything is shot from like wide, far away shots zoomed in because you can't get a camera anywhere with 1988 liability and technology, right? So we didn't have zoom cameras at this time. It was you know, that whole thing, like everybody working through and everybody was eating it up. But also the thing happened where there would be a big move and then it took a second for the crowd to kind of react to it. I thought was interesting. I don't know because it was the cage and people needed a second to register what they were seeing through the cage or catch the thing, or their buddies saying, "Did you see what Animal did on level 2 or something?" But like there was a delay in everything, but everybody just went insane. Rob,
that top level was in the lights.
it was.
You know, you couldn't.
They even said it.
You wouldn't be able to say. Yeah, and they say it's like. You know, like they were commenting about like something Tommy Rogers, like his drop kick, like, oh my god, he jumped in the lights. So you know, he's like, but no, this match they are literally in.
Yeah, you saw the lights. The can lights were hanging down below the top of the cage.
So that had to be like you couldn't. I mean, from the crowd, you probably couldn't see that top cage if you were up high enough.
No.
Well, or if you were down too low, unless you were like level with it.
Well, and it was probably hot. Those are can lights.
Yeah, and like Tommy Young had to be dying up there.
Yeah. And
I think they started off with, like I said, it's funny. Yeah, you got like Ronnie Garvin, who's probably the oldest guy in the match at that point. I think they intentionally did start off with like him and Ivan Koloff just because they were just the two oldest fuckers out there to get them through. You know?
Yeah, first one's out the door. I think Ronnie was the first. I'm like, oh, short night for Ronnie.
Yeah, just to get them down and out.
It always is, guys.
Yeah.
But then we got to like the end where you got like Kevin Sullivan. He shoves other Garvin brother out. So he locks the door behind him and has time alone with Precious to stalk her. And then you have the crowd is insane. Everybody is scrambling. Emergency. Garvin climbs all the way to the top and back down through the cage again to save her.
That painter's ladder.
Oh, the painter's ladder. Yeah. It was just like nuts.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did they just not trust any of them to be able to climb up the actual fence wall?
I don't think at that point, no. This isn't like, this isn't post 1998 fully climbing the cage, right?
But they've had cage matches where people will climb the cage walls at this point.
Yeah. I don't think listen. But also, have you seen the videos where most of the people in that match are very coked out through most of that tour?
Exactly, they wouldn't feel the pain anyway.
Or they were just like such big dudes.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
It's that you had like Dr. Death and the Road Warriors, and again like Ivan Koloff and guys that aren't known for.
They're not cruiserweights.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they're agile in their own sense, but not like.
And they're not Undertaker. They're very not Undertaker.
Yeah.
So,
does anybody know where I can find like an old school wrestling match where somebody actually does a suicide dive? Like, did they do suicide dives back then?
The earliest I remember seeing it, I actually just saw it recently on Rumble 91.
Okay.
Rumble 91, the Rockers, the Orient Express, the match I was
makes sense.
Joking about that I saw. That, by the way, all right, that's a good match. Like, you've probably heard of that match before.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was watching that pay-per-view over the weekend because why not? It's the Rumble 91.
Mm-hmm.
There's a match on there that was a banger, and I did not expect it. Big Boss Man versus the Barbarian.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. Didn't expect it at all. Holy shit balls.
And was Boss Man just like recently turned face by that point?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
But
early 90s face Boss Man was pretty fucking rocking. Like him and Perfect. Fuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, because I think he was kind of wrapped up a little bit in like the $1 Million Man Virgil stuff or something too, where, or maybe not. Like it was, or he was hired by $1 Million Man to like get the belt back or something. And then he got stiffed him or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was.
It's like it didn't go through, got slapped, and said, I'm done with this.
Or it might have been Dusty at that point. Was Dusty still around? Yeah, that might
yeah.
have been.
Dusty was involved in the whole Ted DiBiase stuff.
Yeah. Man, those were the days. Hey, either way, whether you guys, how much you may shit on the professor's picks for matches, I think it's led to some good discussions and other side discoveries here. So I think this has been a pretty fun so far. But in the meantime, it's time.
Hey, Sword, Professor Edwin may hate me now, but I love this segment, so this has been a lot of fun, and I do enjoy watching these old matches.
Fantastic.
I'm interested in seeing what pops up on the rest of that 2012 SmackDown.
Yeah. Looking forward to that this week. We'll put a link to the WWE Network link, at least, of where you can find that show and that match do that.
It's on February 24th.
Yes. February 24th, 2012. But we'll get all that in line for you. Guys, what did you learn from wrestling this week? In chat room, please chime in as well. Who wants to go first?
All right, Sorgi, I'll go first.
All right.
There was then this is less of a thing that I learned this week, but more of an important thing to remember and be reminded of. There was an unfortunate incident earlier this week in which one of our podcasting brothers, although we won't claim him anymore, said something inappropriate about a professional wrestler, got called out for it, and now has been, of course, been shamed on social media as you do. And so it's like I said, it's just an important thing to both learn this week and to be reminded of that. There might actually be other wrestlers, not other wrestlers, but real wrestlers actually listening to the things that you're saying. So just keep that in mind whenever you're podcasting from either a beautiful space like this or perhaps from the comfort of your own basement, that indeed, yes, your words might be heard by the people that you're actually saying things about. So,
yeah, Ronnie.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah, Ronnie.
Wait, who did I piss off now?
I wasn't talking about Ronnie, that's for sure.
Yes.
What about you, Rob? What'd you learn?
I learned this week, I've been going through the Pillman Memorial shows from 98, 99, 2000, 2001 as part of an upcoming project. And I'm learning just now what a big deal those were back in the day, just to get everybody on the same page to kind of make those happen and how stacked those shows were.
Yeah.
Wasn't it basically like Battle of the Network All-Stars, but for wrestling?
Well, it was like 98. You had a couple of like Stone Cold was on the 98 show. I mean, not wrestling, but as just kind of a guest and talking to the crowd, like a month after WrestleMania 14.
Wow.
Wow.
So
wow.
And then so that was like the peak of kind of his ascension, to being the main guy. And it was, I think, like Sonny was the other WWF person on the show, and then you had like Jericho and Benoit were main evented it, and of course they'd always had good matches together. And then you had guys like Chris Candido and Al Snow, but then it got even bigger the next couple of years, and it was you had people from all three companies until that last one where it was like fall of 2001, where it was all under the WWF umbrella. But even the main event of that one was the Hardys versus Edge and Christian versus DDP and Canyon, like in the middle of the Invasion stuff.
Jeez, yeah. That's
like
a match we wish we got in the Invasion.
Yeah, so it was like just crazy. It's like and I think there were at least a couple thousand people at that last one. And then on the undercard on the indie showcase was John Cena versus Randy Orton. So about a year before they hit TV, they would have been doing OVW at the time.
Yeah.
So it's just seeing just like how stacked those shows were, because you only really hear about a couple of them or a couple of the matches. You know, like the Benoit Regal from 2000. They kind of got Regal his job back.
Yeah, and you also saw from the Heartland DVD that Dombrowski did. I work Wrestling from the Heartland, the Brian Pillman Memorial. That's all going to be available in due time. Heartland's available now, IndieWrestling.us and ProWrestlingLibrary.com. Joe Dombrowski.
And I'm finishing up the Pillman interview right now.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll see a DVD request soon for that. Once I get to this other project that's been on my plate. It's weird. There's no wrestling. I'm not traveling, yet I'm losing as much sleep as ever for work. So it's strange.
I'm watching more 90s wrestling now than I was
in
back
the
in
90s.
the 90s.
Yeah. All right, Ronnie, what'd you learn?
That MJF is a national treasure.
Absolutely. I don't care where this MJF hate comes from. Like, not hate as in hating him because he's a heel, hating him because he's MJF apparently. Like, I don't get that.
He's overhyped.
But that right there. Well, exactly. Case and point. No, that
he's
way.
Overhyped.
That way. No.
Well,
where's this camera?
I don't know. He's like number 2 heel at the age of 23 on a nationally televised wrestling promotion. That seems pretty legit.
and our boy Wardlow's got like the easiest gig on TV right now.
Aaron needs to stop calling him the world's biggest ring bearer.
Yeah.
That's not exactly promoting him well.
No.
It sounds like he works weddings.
Matt, what'd you learn? Matt, what'd you learn?
I already told you what I learned.
Oh, Mike, what'd you learn? I'm sorry, I hit the wrong square.
That's okay.
I learned that WWE is saying that if people need to break up a fight, if you're in the crowd from now on, you can just run in.
That's an unfortunate precedent, isn't it? How did they jump the barrier? How did they jump the plexiglass barrier?
They ran around it. I think they somehow transported themselves through it.
Yeah, and I also learned if you're on the internet, don't be an asshole. Just like if you have something shitty to say about someone that you don't know, that's not talking about a product. It's talking about a specific person. If you have something shitty to say about that person, think on it for a half a second. Say it out loud to yourself. Hell, say it out loud to someone you're quarantined with. If you're not quarantined with anyone,
talk to the dog.
Crash a Zoom chat. Just say it to random people and see the kind of reaction you get. Then maybe think twice about posting it, because this is a hard time for everybody. Everyone is going through their own shit right now. We don't need to pile on. Because it can have serious consequences, and in some cases, dire consequences. So just be a fucking person. Be a fucking person. Be a real, legit, good person. That's what I learned. I already knew that, but I relearned it.
Yeah,
I don't want to follow that up.
Zero tolerance.
Yeah.
If you think they're worth a mute, block them. If you think they're worth a block, report them.
Block and report. Block and report. And
don't let these people just linger around in the shadows.
There's someone on Twitter. I've seen it pop up a bunch of times. I forget who it is, but talking about a quality filter on Twitter. Utilize it.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
This is exactly why I quit Twitter, because
I don't blame you.
All that negativity, it's bad. And when we come on here and when we rip into people, we're just joking. We're not literally.
This is a gimmick.
Yeah.
This is a gimmick. I never talk about specific people, except for people who I think are racist and should stop being racist. Because racists deserve to be shit on.
I know who we're talking about. If you go on social media and you literally shit on some poor girl for no reason, look at the consequences. Like, a 22-year-old girl committed suicide because you fucking people are just rude as shit. And that's what we're talking about. It's such a great girl was lost because people are assholes. It sucks. And I'm really glad that the wrestling community has all come together and are mourning this poor girl's loss, because it's bullshit.
Absolutely.
The real question now is, will we learn anything from it? Will we actually get better?
God, I hope so. Really do.
Well, from the
so on that uplifting note, Sorky,
on the chat room. First of all, Rob, look out for Tina Keys in the audience for those Pillman shows. Apparently,
what's that though?
Yeah, look out for her. And also, Tina says what she learned is the WWE is a tad few years behind on pay-per-view hype themes. Apparently, wait, what's the one for this one?
I didn't even know there was a hype.
It's like some Panic at the Disco song from 2 years ago or something like that.
They're literally just looking to license anything that said greatest of all time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a keyword search at this point.
By the way, can we stop with that?
It's not stuff.
It's not going to be the greatest match of all time.
It's not even the top 20.
The other reason I can't sit and watch a full WWE program is hearing their horrendous pay-per-view taglines over and over again. So bad. Hey, oh my God, this is what I learned. Okay. Hold on, before I get to that. Also, Alex in California learned that when AR Fox wrestles high, he is more crazy. Well, shit. Okay, I'm gonna send me links. There was a point in my TV viewing life where I figured out the formula for Law and Order shows and police procedurals, and now I just cannot watch one without my skin crawling. Okay.
Dun, dun.
I attended a television messaging meeting of some sort up at Mount Washington when I started a job, a client job like 10 years ago, and realized how a lot of that messaging works. I'll tell you guys sometimes, not on a wrestling podcast. WWE. Now, I believe we all suffer from this because we've all watched wrestling forever and kind of can see the threads and the lines and how a wrestling match works, at least kind of storytelling wise, that it's super obvious and it's like a grunt, we're doing this again kind of thing. But WWE as a program has become the Law and Order to me, I'm afraid. And maybe the lack of crowd has exposed that even more as we muscle through the script. And that is what's breaking me down right now on watching WWE. And it's just like the distractions are gone. And all I have is core what WWE is, and I don't think I like it anymore. That's where I'm
That's good, Sorg. I'm glad.
I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a good thing.
I just thought of.
I mean, it's healthy to let that out. I mean, it's good to say it so we can all hear it. Yeah, it's good.
I just thought of a couple of examples using that Law and Order formula. You know, like, you know how, like, if you're in an episode and you're 20 minutes in and they think they got the guy, it's like, oh no, but wait, there's going to be more twists and turns. You know?
Yeah.
Where remember, and again, God, this is 20 years ago. The episode of Raw with Triple H and Jericho beat Triple H like a half hour in.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole rest of the episode became about, basically how they were going to undo everything.
Yeah.
When Jericho won the WWF title.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
And it was
I was so
about,
pumped for that.
You know, where it's like, you can't be like, oh, if this happens a half hour into the show, it's going to stay that way, or that's the solution, or that's the climax.
I always feared. Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off. But I always fear the whole Money in the Bank thing, where like I'm like, somebody who I wanted to be WWE champion finally became champion. I'm like, yes, and I realized I'm like, oh, they're not really going to do it. I think they're going to do it, and then here comes the person in the bank. I'm like, come on, man.
And they've done it so many times now to where it's like, yeah, you can be like, is it going to be A, B, or C? You know?
It's more just the show and the flow and the risk is worth the reward. Thanks for telling that completely naturally, Rey Mysterio. Fuck. And even to the point where they absolutely telegraph the fact that we're going to throw people off of the roof.
Yeah.
And then completely no-sell the fact they got thrown off a roof.
Corbin literally murdered two guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, they'll be fine tomorrow. It'll be all
or
right.
at least attempted murder.
Listen, the
It's
last time I saw you, you were thrown from a roof and never spoken of again. And literally, I was worried for Sean Phoenix's mentality when he was on Twitter wondering what happened to Rey Mysterio. And then you just show up tomorrow and say we just start with, hey, there's Rey Mysterio. How you feeling, Ray?
I'm good, thanks.
I'm good, thanks. What the fuck is this?
To be fair,
I'm looking in the wrong camera.
On a scale of attempted murder in WWE, it's kind of low.
It was no like NWO running somebody over with a truck.
It's no someone ramming into a limo with Bret Hart. It's no John Cena trying to blow someone up with pyro. Like, I mean, there was a literal attempt at embalming on an episode of Raw in '98. Yeah. Like,
what was the one where
not even like a live embalming?
And I want to roll back. I understand.
Remember, Austin rolled a crippled Vince McMahon to the ring with a gun.
He pissed his pants.
The 90s were a wild time. And also, I understand writers, staff, this is stressful times. I get it. We're all flashing out. And that's just where I'm at. And I'll see you next
Sorry,
month.
I'm telling you, just find an audience reaction track next time you watch.
It's where I'm at. It's where I'm at, and I'll see you next Monday.
I want domination. I want transformation. Gotta roll the dice.
I'm thinking they need to bust out Deadly Games again. You know?
One more thing.
Yeah.
I forgot. They brought back one of my favorite pay-per-view themes.
The end is near.
But yes, for the Karrion Kross promo.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Karrion Kross and Scarlett did a promo where they said they're gonna like go after Ciampa and whoever else. And it was like, the end is here.
Dude, I popped so hard. No, I popped for it.
Love it. Love it.
Like,
Thank you.
I'm like, why is that not your theme song? Why?
Thank you.
If
Thank
we
you.
have that in the bank.
Little-
It's like whenever Kane doesn't come out to Slow Chemical,
Yeah.
why are we not doing the best version of what we can do?
So, a real last note before we have to get out of here. One mark out mode for me working on the classic Montreal Theory documentary available at joedombrowski.com and indiewrestling.us on the Indie Wrestling Network. He actually got the license for the theme song for the Survivor Series pay-per-view where that happened that we used on the documentary.
Yes.
And you would know that if you all watched it. But free trial, 7 days. Go over and watch it. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's like 5 hours of interviews, but like Steve Corino's wife liked it, so that means you will too. That was the best. That was the best review. That and a heart not liking us. But
Well, I mean, there's like a million of them.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, but to know that, like you know,
they're not all on the same.
you know, when you hear a Hart wife saying those guys, I think it was Brett's wife. You know, those guys should have something better to do than bring this up. And I was like, well, stay tuned for the next 5 years. All right. Anyways, guys, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Please go check out Ronnie Starks on not the Twitter, but other places where he'll be.
On the Facebook.
On the Facebook and the Zooms.
And the Facebook and the Zooms. And then
you can
also go check out my podcast that I have on the Facebook.
What?
Well, it's the wrestling podcast with me and Tyler Klein. I need to plug more. Sorry, I don't plug that enough.
The action figure podcast.
Yeah, I don't plug that enough.
Yes.
And find me this weekend. I'll be on Facebook Live for Real Street Wrestling. And tomorrow night, I guess I'll be on the Zoom. Well, I'll be holding a camera, filming the show.
You can be on the Zoom critiquing his shots. Mainstream Matt, you have listened to your parents on Thursday night, circleshotmedia.com. Also, check out the Facebook page for the stream.
All true. All accurate. Very good.
Hot topic will be that facial hair.
And we might even talk about Memorial Day cookout. If you thought the watch party was Wild Sorg,
that's right.
The Memorial Day cookout.
I really hope the facial hair starts with. I watched this YouTube video, like when we talked about how you cut your kid's hair last week. And you said I watched a YouTube video for a while and thought I could do it. So,
are you implying that I didn't do it? Okay.
I feel like you were drunk and you were like, "This looks like a good idea," and then you just.
They're taking bets at the
I'm
Memorial
not burning
Day
material on this podcast, so this is for the listeners.
Right. That's your tease.
Podcast.
Thank you, Rob. Again, go check out his work, basically all over the IndieWrestling.us network. You're on camera all over the place.
And more, and again over on joedombrowski.com.
Yes. Well, watch out for his cameos on Southpaw and The Outsiders,
which are probably on Amazon.
Yeah,
or,
there you go.
Hulu or something at this point.
There you go.
I'm in a Richard Jewell TV show, not the movie, but whatever the TV show version of it was.
Oh, okay.
That I don't even know where the hell it's. It was on whatever, I don't know if it's like AT&T or whoever's. It was exclusive to a cable system.
Oh no!
But
no.
I'm sure it'll. It was originally supposed to be on Netflix, and maybe it'll end up on Netflix at some point. But I don't know.
Geez.
I'm like a cop in 3 different episodes or so.
If you see a cop in the background,
and
are you a cop?
Yeah.
You have to tell me if you're a cop.
Matt Mike 4883 on the Twitter.
Also, tubi.tv. Watch yourself some Lucha Underground. It's damn amazing. If you like Stadium Stampede, learn where they got all this shit from.
Exactly.
Where they poached other production people.
We'll see you guys next time. Mayhem out. Tina and Alex are the most active, and I realize it's hold on, I have the West Coast time on this computer over here.
5 o'clock.
It's
West
8:30
Coast
there.
speed.
It's 8:30.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you
It's like
guys.
8:30 over there.
We're
Yeah.
cutting out.